Link ECU. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
One bottle, so many great things. When your engine reaches 75,000 miles or more, like on this truck, years of carbon buildup leads to reduced fuel economy, increased wear, poor acceleration, and higher emissions. Max Restore is specifically designed for high mileage engines with quality PEA and proprietary detergents to remove those stubborn legacy deposits. And it includes a friction modifier to reduce future wear in the upper cylinder of your vehicle's engine. Restore performance and protect your high mileage engine with Royal Purple Max Restore.
Ford Star, Euro, import, American, with bold colors and custom fitments. Your wheels, your way. Visit Fordstar.com.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime!
Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
The finals are set, the lights are on, celebrating 20 years of FD, baby! Send it! Here we go! This is Formula Drift, and we are on the streets of Long Beach for the first round. Your winner, Matt Beechum! Welcome out to Road Atlanta. This is round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Gittin Jr, two-time champion.
The battles that we had at Orlando, I mean, they were intense. There was a lot of contact with the inside.
Whoa, are you kidding me? Look at that! That was awesome! Chelsea Denofa gets the win! This is Englishtown Raceway Park, also known as Round 4. Simon Olsen, Adam Elsey, neither have had a Formula Drift overall win, and one of them is going to make history. It is pro time here in St. Louis. The stage is set for round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. The finals are set. Odie Bakshi's against a new points leader, Frederick Aasbo. Come on, boys, send it! Odie Bakshi's initiates in that first outside zone. Aasbo cutting through that smoke line. Odie Bakshi gets the win! Who's gonna get the victory here at Evergreen Speedway? Chelsea Denofa, Dylan Hughes, the local boy, is going to put it down for his town. Contact with me. That's all she wrote. Your winner here at round 6. Chelsea Denofa gets the win.
Are you ready, Salt Lake City? We're heating things up with round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We've seen 6 previous rounds with 6 different winners, from Long Beach to St. Louis.
Chelsea Denofa, Matt Field, they're 1 and 2 in the championship. Who's going to get the win here? Here we go. Send it! Oh, that contact! Holy cow! If Denofa wins this final battle, he gets a 53-point lead over Matt Field. Chelsea Denofa gets the win.
Congratulations on your 3rd win of the season.
Join us there. The final round, round 8, Irwindale, California. The House of Drift, Irwindale, California. This is it. A championship will be crowned here. But are we going to see a new champion? That is the big question. I'm excited. I can't wait. And of course, I know you guys can't wait. Who's going to get the championship? We will find out under the lights here at the House of Drift. Great way to kick back up. Get the vibe going, baby! Surges to the side of the boom! Then he goes for it. He goes high on the bank, but Odibakshi's not backing down. Look at that. You see him plunge forward to the side. We were talking about the bank, how the water's streaming down. Oh, man. Great run by Travis Reeder and Chelsea. Second inside Gittin, bring it across the finish line. Look at this lineup. Not on the track, but just the fans streaming in like salmon that are ready to just see nature. Well, Mother Nature, we're going to make our own clouds. That's right. We are making clouds here. The final round, round 8 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. This is Irwindale Speedway, a.k.a. the House of Drift. That's right. The fastest to sell out here at Irwindale in the history. 20 years to be exact. Super excited to see all the fans and, of course, to see who is going to win here under the lights. It's hot. The forecast is sunny and smoky. So happy that you could join us here. This is a Type S title fight. Round 8 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, and myself, Jared Deenda, and Jacob Gittins. And Jacob is so Canadian, he still has his toque, a.k.a. his beanie on. That's how Canadian this gentleman is. He is the host of Outer Zone, the Formula Drift podcast that absolutely complements what we do in the Formula Drift world, getting the stories, getting the nitty, getting the gritty, and getting the dirty. All right, so again, the Type S title fight, round 8 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. I'm Jared Deenda, again, Jacob Gittins. We are going to be talking and being your tour guides for 32. Ryan Sage, president and co-founder of Formula Drift, will be joining me here for Top 16. But again, the lay of the land. It took them 2 weeks to scrape up hundreds of pounds of rubber off of this track. I think it's changed things up quite a bit. Again, Jared, Jacob, your thoughts qualifying coming into today. Not only are we going to have a winner here, which is such a coveted title here at Irwindale, but also we will have what I'm kind of foreseeing a different champion than what we've seen before.
Yeah, what I love is everything that we thought we knew coming into Irwindale has changed. What drivers thought the track was going to be like, the tire wear, the positioning, where everyone is qualified. All of that is out the window. This is a completely fresh round, and anything can happen. I'm so excited to see how this plays out. I've been looking through the bracket and kind of having my fantasy battles. Who's going to go here? And it is going to be crazy no matter what happens here in top 13 or top 32.
Yeah, absolutely. And then 32-16. This is how the season shaped up. Just about an hour away. Well, 3 hours, depending on traffic. I'm joking. California coast. Matt Field kicked things off with redemption. If you recall last year, we had a wacky, wild, weird. I mean, Sage and I looked at each other like, what just happened? He wanted some redemption. He got just that. Gittin Jr. started the RTR tear in Atlanta. How sentimental. He was in the finals against Chris Forsberg in 2004, the first ever year from the drift, and it's them. But Vaughn got the win this time. Chelsea Denofa, well, guess what? 1, 2, 3. He got 3 wins overall. It started in Orlando with a little bit of Adam LZ flavor peppered in there. So congratulations, Adam LZ, an absolute legend. And then, of course, we saw Odie. And then, you know what? Again, we did not see our defending champion, Frederick Aasbo, on that list of getting the win. Interesting season for Frederick Aasbo. We know he still has it in him. He could still disrupt as we take a look at our Drivers' Championships. What are your expectations here, Jacob?
Yeah, Chelsea Denofa, I mean, there's a very good chance he could take it, but Matt Fields, Simon Olsen, and Frederick Aasbo all mathematically could do this. So anything can happen. Odie Bakshi's as well in that contention to get, second, third place. If he does well, that's definitely a possibility, taking home another season trophy. So let's see what happens as we move into the next section here. James Dean.
Yeah, James Dean, Ryan Tuerck, Chris Forsberg, Dylan Hughes, Kazuya Taguchi. I mean, you're seeing absolute legends up in the mix, talking about Aasbo and all that. And we got a big bombshell of a message on Thursday. We partied at Run the Jewels Wednesday night. He told me that Wednesday night, and then he delivered the bombshell that he told me. Chelsea Denofa, this is his last Formula Drift round of competition. We saw him qualify last night, 7th, and this is his last Formula Drift round. So, again, after this 23 season, what are your thoughts, Jacob?
I mentioned this on his Instagram.
Are you crying?
I'm emotional.
Are you crying?
Definitely emotional. But, I mentioned this. Anywhere he goes, anything that he does, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. So, I think he'll come back as a fan. I think maybe we'll see him, floating around. I don't think he's really going anywhere.
Is he going to be a judge?
Yeah,
no, I'm joking. Here we go. Let's just stir that pot. Let's stir that pot. No, but, what's really interesting is he delivered the message, and I love how systematic Chelsea is. As wild and crazy as he is, he's a very systematic man. Him and his lovely wife, her name is Chelsea as well. But he wanted to put this message out before this round of competition, as opposed to waiting till the culmination of a season, because he says, I'm leaving regardless of the outcome of this round, aka, is he a champion or is he not? He's leaving regardless. He thanks Vaughn and RTR and the whole Formula Drift family for the platform that is provided for him. He still loves drifting. He still is going to drift. It's in his blood. It's what he grew up doing, that BMX and having a damn good time.
Yeah, I'm excited just to see what happens in, the next part of his career. And, if we want to go rumor mill, Vaughn Gittin Jr., he left and came back. Could we see Chelsea Denofa come back? Maybe. I don't know. But either way, he's going to have a ton of fun and just continue his legacy as one of the most exciting drivers of all time.
Absolutely. I mean, the RTR legacy, what they've created this year, again, that 3 in a row, and then, Vaughn Gittin Jr., again, kicking things off in Atlanta. Like I said, so sentimental. 20 years ago, this all kicked off in Atlanta, 2004, and then Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win here 20 years later. Really cool. And then again, we talk about Chelsea, Adam LZ, that was a shared vehicle overall, and then with Chelsea with 3 wins out of 7 previous rounds. Who's going to come out on top as we take a look at our bracket? Nick Novak, our #1 qualifier, absolutely amazing. Odie Bakshi's our #2 qualifier. Kenshiro Gushi, so you can see there were some bye runs. Unfortunately, we had 32 drivers, but 2 drivers failed to qualify, of Ryan Littoral and Jonathan Hurst. They had some technical issues with their vehicles, had to shut it down. So Novak and Bakshis get the fast pass into top 16.
Yeah, there are a lot of amazing battles that we're going to see here, and honestly, top 32 is going to set what's going to happen for the championship. If any of these top contenders go out, this becomes a very tense situation for anybody that's left over. So most of the time, you look at top 32 and can kind of make picks. You can't make them. Nick Novak qualifying first. Odie Bakshi's now in second with the bye run. Ken Gushi, Ula Jaeger. I mean, I could go through the whole thing, but it is going to be a wild, wild top 32.
And some things can get dictated already in 32. People not being mathematically available to, gain that championship. As we take a look at Chelsea Denofa, getting his mind right. But again, Lorette Nickel is a great member of our team, and she had some great words with him, and she talks to him about, hey, where's your head? Are you thinking championship? He's like, nah. He plays it cool, man. He does a really good job of going round by round. He says he likes the driving style that he does. He doesn't want to kind of, surrender any of his personality in his driving. But again, Nick Novak, our #1 qualifier. But let's take a look back last night. Some amazing driving. As we take a look, Ken Gushi, you had some great words with him on your podcast. What are your thoughts about his run last night?
Yeah, Ken is bringing the style back. He's done really well here in Irwindale. When him and I chatted before, he just said, I'm just leaving it all out there on the track, and that's what he did. I mean, he filled the zones, he had good style. It wasn't the fastest run, but qualifying is not about speed, it's about accuracy. But when we were talking about speed, Odie Bakshi's had some of the craziest driving all weekend so far. And the speed he's able to get coming off the bank through the inner clip into outer zone 2 is insane. And that is where, you know, when we get into top 16, whoever he's battling, it's gonna be hard. And then Nick Novak coming out of nowhere. Man, this run, I mean, I've got goosebumps just thinking about it right now. So good. Angle, style, speed, consistency. Nick Novak is a force to be reckoned with. And no matter who he battles, they're gonna have a tough time because he is able to lay down a crazy run.
And taking a look at how Chelsea, Denofa, and Matt Field, we talk about them again about the championship. Chelsea Denofa, there's that big gangster run, dragging the bumper. I mean, even his Fun Haver RTR team talks about his bumper budget being through the window. I mean, he uses 2 per run. I'm joking. But Matt Field, you know, he, you know, love-hate relationship with that wall. He loved it last night. Good, consistent run. I think he's going to need to level up, but that's what champions do. They rise to the occasion. Don't go 100% right out of the gate. You know you have to scale it as you advance on. Attrition is the big key here, and we talked about Frederick Aasbo not being on that winner's board here this season. It's all about that. But, you know, as we're talking about, we're going to bring in another member of our team. She's down on the ground. She has some great insight, some great stories. So Lorette Nickel caught up with, if you didn't see it, now you're going to see it. James the Machine Dean, 3-time champion, had one heck of a ride last night.
I have seen the photos of your shoulder and how high it is and out of place it is. And it looks like, as a non-medical professional, it looks like you're dealing with a shoulder separation, but you're going for it today.
Yeah, so the team got the car back together last night. Incredible job after such a crash to get me back out there for qualifying. I already knew I was in trouble before I got out of the car because when we crashed yesterday, I tried to lift myself from the seat and I couldn't. And I had to get, thank God, the track team were so amazing. They ran to me instantly. And I just gave them my left hand and I said, just pull me out. And they were going soft, and I was like, just pull me out, I'm fine. I just couldn't use my right arm. I knew that I was in pain somewhere up here. So then the team were doing an amazing job getting the car back together, and I just took some painkillers, iced it up for the hour after the crash, and just tried my best to go for it. Even though it was very sore, we managed to pull it through. But then overnight, it's after swelling up. So that you can see this is a lot higher than this side, and the socket is insanely sore. So I'm trying to do it, but I'm not sure. Some people are telling me go for it, other people are like, don't risk doing more damage. So it's a really tricky situation. It's my first serious, not a serious injury, but painful injury in drifting. And it's definitely having its effects on my level of driving because I can't use my right hand to do all the movements, wind chasing like I normally do if I'm using a handbrake and stuff to adjust my speed. So it's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's a tricky one for sure. And we saw the in-camera footage. That ride that you went on, James, what were you experiencing?
So I've had quite a few crashes over the last 17 years of drifting, but all of them were a lot less than what yesterday's was. So yesterday's was the first time I ever closed my eyes in an impact. So we hit the wall, the car climbed, and as soon as I knew I was up by the fence, I just closed my eyes because I didn't know, was I going to flip, land on the roof, get stuck in the fence, go over. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just tried to hold on and close my eyes. But it was a bumpy ride. That's for
James, you are an absolute legend. I give you all the credit in the world for fighting through this. This is so brave of you. I know that you're in a lot of pain, but you're doing it, and we are wishing you the best of luck today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you all for the support. Yeah, if there wasn't fans coming out to watch and support us online, there's no way I'd be jumping back in the car, but I want to do everyone proud that supports me, do the team proud that have got the car back on track, and just want to do my best. So thank you very much.
Round of applause for James Dean. Also, Happy birthday to James Dean. Yeah, that's right. It's his birthday today as well. So, again, happy birthday to James Dean. And what a way to celebrate. His sister and his family were watching at 3 a.m. in the morning. They saw it last night. They were so happy to get the car back together because, mind you, that accident happened in practice. And then it kind of, and then they had to thrash on the vehicle. I mean, their team, it was all hands on deck. And maybe it's a blessing that they do have 3 cars between Chelsea, Vaughn, and James. They had everybody on deck thrashing, working the car. Jacob, we were talking about it right before we came on here. I saw it before. I saw it last night. You saw it this morning. But, I mean, pretty nuts. But, I mean, talking about last year, talking about track conditions, that's the variable that everybody has to deal with. Obviously you get into some walls, you get into some tussles, but the track conditions are absolutely ideal. It's sunny, so let's take a look at our ACT track conditions report, brought to you by ACT, celebrating 30 years of clutch performance. Champions choose ACT. For more on our track conditions, brought to you by ACT, let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel.
Jared, thank you very much for that. Ryan Tuerck down here, and as we just saw that piece on James Dean, man, he is in a lot of pain. He's going for it. What a warrior, right?
100%. I've had a shoulder separation as well, and I know it's pretty debilitating and extremely painful not being able to just use it. And obviously in drifting, we use our arms and to control the steering wheel a lot more than maybe some forms of racing. But yeah, he's definitely in a lot of pain, and big ups to him for just grunting it out and trying to make it happen.
Yeah, we love seeing that, and what we love seeing is action on the track as well. And we were talking about the track conditions, Ryan, and it seems a little bit tricky outside zone 1 getting to angles. So what are you dealing with out there?
Yeah, the track, I mean, last year was kind of a skip year with the rain as far as a normal Irwindale setup is concerned. So we started on our data from last year, and we've changed the car setup a lot as it kind of developed and the track developed a lot of grip. Formula Drift did a phenomenal job scraping the lower bank outer two, and it has made tire degradation go up a lot. So tire wear has been a big thing this weekend for us, or for everybody for that matter. And then outer 1 has been difficult to stay high in. So we've been really playing around with a lot of different car setups and changes, trying to get comfortable but still be fast enough to be competitive. And it's been a tricky balance out there for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're starting to find the right setup?
Yeah, after the morning practice, we last night we talked about a lot of different things, and we came in today making a lot of different changes and trying to just see what would work, and we kind of found something that we think is going to do pretty well for the rest of the day.
Okay. So at this point, sun is out, track is baking. A little bit later tonight, of course, once we get into the top levels, we're going to be in nighttime. So are you thinking about that already? Are you trying to be a step ahead, or are you just taking this one step at a time?
Yeah, we're definitely trying. We're thinking about the nighttime. And for people that don't know, when the sun goes down and the track cools off here at Irwindale, the track gets way more grippy, like really, really changes a lot. So you have to change your car setup and be ahead of that as well. So we're obviously thinking about what that will be when that changes and as that changes. So.
I love that. Thank you so much for your insight, Ryan. Really appreciate it. More stuff coming up. Jared's so excited to be down here. Man, can you feel the energy? Can you feel what's going on down here in the hot pits?
I can feel the heat coming off of the pavement, the fans, just the electricity, the cars, just all of it right now. Absolutely excited. We're going to take a short break, collect our thoughts. You digest that, because guess what? You're going to be served a 32 vehicle buffet here at the House of Drift, Irwindale Speedway, Irwindale, California. Jake again, Sierra Deanna, Lorette Nickel, we're your tour guides, but these weapons of mass destruction, these pilots behind the wheel are going to show you one heck of a good show when we come back.
some fun now, man.
Guys, Jeff Jones here.
I'm Dylan Hughes.
I'm Travis Reeder.
I'm Ken Gushi.
I'm Matt Field. I drive Link.
They are the most reliable EC around, and they always deliver.
Their global tech support gives me the advice I need every time I need it.
Their products are super easy to install and easy to set up for the performance that I want.
They stand behind their products and support their customers.
They're always innovating and delivering great new products and performance features.
I drive
Link.
All right, the fans are prepared. They got their umbrellas, but not for rain, for the sun. So again, thank you so much for joining us out here. The final round, the Type S title fight. Type S, the official lighting of Formula Drift. We have some awesome things going on during the halftime break, FYI. Stop by and see the brand new Hero 12 Black, just launched this month. Got discounts and bundles worth $200, only available here at Formula Drift. Also, the GoPro booth gives one away each day at 6:15. Walk us through this map here, Jacob, as outer zone 1, 2, 3. What are the judges looking for? Listen to what they said in drivers' meetings.
Yeah, so obviously, nice, quick, fast start, and then big initiation. There's a small decel zone. They want to see you filling that entire outer zone up against the wall the entire time. Then transitioning for inner clip 1. Spoke with the judges. Midline is what they're looking for, and they want your bumper facing that inner clip. Not your fender, not your wheel, your front bumper. Then you've got a decel into outer zone 2. Really sets you up as you got to hold that against the wall. Bit of an inner clip there, inner clip 2. And then there is a last outside zone. It's not just a touch and go. They do want you filling about 10 feet. So
I'm calling it the lily pad.
Yeah.
You just kind of leapfrog or ribbit your way across that finish line. There we are with our GoPro live camera. Again, the all-new GoPro Hero 12 Black. There's my son right there. That's Parker Jet. That's Parker Jet right there. Parker Jet Deenda, how we doing? Now the keys to the victory. Here's the key, Jacob. What are we looking for? What do the judges and what do the drivers need to do?
Yeah, stay high on on outer zone 1. That is so crucial. It's a big zone, a lot of points. Attain inner clip 1 with a balance of angle and pace. Decel after transitioning for outer zone 2. On throttle early. And basically get around the track. So want to gain and maintain proximity, position that car in the pocket, mimic those transitions, and stay on course after inner clip 1. It's actually really tough. You've got a lot of smoke you're dealing with, and the timing is so crucial in this track.
You know, here's what's really interesting too, is we have an all Toyota battle stepping up here. Jonathan Castro, Toyota GR86, Dominican's finest, and then you got Frederick Aasbo, 3-time defending champ mathematically. He is quite a distance behind, piloting that Rockstar energy drink, Toyota GR Supra, as Aasbo's 81 points behind our leader. You know, taking a look right here, but today here in 32 and then going into 16, two very different chase perspectives. The smoke is going to play a major role under the lights. Not so much during the day because you get good vision, even though there was an eclipse earlier today. That was kind of wild. That was wild, right? But as Castro's leading, Castro leads. Look at that. Frederick Aasbo in the chase. I mean, this is just very uncharacteristic of what we've seen from Frederick Aasbo in previous years.
Yeah, I mean, both mid-pack, qualifying 16th and 17th. We're not going to see our buy run there from Nick Novak. He gets to take a bit of a break, gets to walk the pits, hang out, grab some food. But yeah, here we go. Jonathan Castro, Frederick Aasbo.
Jonathan Castro, Frederick Aasbo, all Toyota, the Rockstar pilot of Freddie Aasbo. Saw his sister, haven't seen her in numerous years. His wife's in the building as well, Taylor. So here we go. Castro, LTH. GR86, big angle there, looking locked and loaded. Top of how Castro says moments of greatness, and there is one right now. I mean, the coverage is so settled. There goes Frederick Aasbo. Talk about that smoke. You know, oh, and Frederick Aasbo pushes through the wall. Frederick Aasbo gets out of shape. Very uncharacteristic of the Norwegian hammer, and Castro's putting on one heck of a show out front. Aldo's excited. I know he wants to get him onto the 8, but right now you got to get past a 3-time champion and his own Papadakis Racing teammate, right?
Wow, what a way to start. So, Jonathan Castro out front doing a great job. Gets a lot of angle, a lot of smoke, which is going to come into play right here as they transition. And Aasbo transitions a little bit farther back and tries to punch in and gets just a little bit too deep. He does come out of drift, but gets back into it. Might have salvaged that run. But Castro does get knocked offline a little bit, able to get back to where he needs to be. But what a way to open the top 32 here. Wow. So as they come off the bank, watching the transition, Aasbo is back by a few feet, but then gets on the gas right here and just overshoots it a little bit. The cars are able to get sucked back a little bit into the pocket, but the timing is just not where he needs to be. Right here, he realizes he's going a little too fast, locks it up, but just enough to touch to kick him back into the wall. So, I mean, congrats to Castro for holding on to that. I mean, it's not easy. That's a lot of weight coming into the side of the car there. Wow.
Yeah, and that was. It didn't seem like there was anything that Castro did to throw off Frederick Aasbo. You always have to play devil's advocate. You know, I have the honor and privilege to announce kind of when it's happening, and then, you know, obviously my co-host such as yourself right now gets to kind of analyze and really kind of slow it down, get different perspectives, and you know, didn't seem that Castro had anything glaring that would throw Aasbo off.
Now there's a decel zone there, and as long as he wasn't holding it too long, I think that was fine.
Here we go, Frederick Aasbo in the Supra out front, Ditto tires, setup plays, Castro initiation, he drops down low. That's not exactly where you want to be. Maybe the car got a little bit of damage there on that first run. Big angle for Freddie. That was a crazy transition past that inner clip. Castro keeps it clean though. You know what? He might be taking a strategic approach here, backing off, but no, he's not. And then he throws it up. Okay, so with Freddie having that mistake, that could have sealed his fate right out of the gate. Here is our 3-time champ risking it all, and unfortunately came up a little too long on that second outside zone.
Yeah, so Aasbo got a great jump there, and Castro has to cut a lot of line to get back into the pocket. Does, and then holds it. He does a great job at mirroring the angle and getting the proximity. Transition was amazing from Frederick Aasbo, trying to shake Castro off his tail. As soon as they get into outside zone 2, though, this is where Castro shines. And he just gets into the pocket and gets that wheel set up there and is able to hold it. I mean, he was maybe off angle by a couple degrees, but the proximity was fantastic.
You're right, that transition at first glance, I thought he hung it up long, but Freddie was aggressive. That was a gangster flick past that inside clip.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I mean, Freddie knew he had to throw down after that mistake. So it'll be interesting to see. I know the judges are going to go back, make sure that first run that Castro wasn't decelling for too long, but I believe he was on throttle at the correct point in time. I'm not seeing anything too major other than that, but yeah, Castro's cheese there in outside zone 2. I mean, that's so typical of what he's able to do in long bank corners.
Look at that, and there are the Toyota teammates. Freddie wrapping his arm around Jonathan Castro, taking the moment in, and look at this. A championship contender today is knocked out early. Frederick Aasbo is knocked out by his Toyota teammate of Jonathan Castro, getting the victory. Those guys, I mean, those guys are like brothers. They have so much fun together, you know, on the track and off the track, even more so, either in DR or, I mean, I'll tell you what, Frederick Aasbo should definitely hold his head high. You know, coming off of a back-to-back championship, 21, 22, previously a few years ago, you know, I think he earned the respect of so many drifters across the globe on what he does, to the degree he does, the professionalism, and just an absolute great ambassador coming to us from Norway. Frederick Aasbo, the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra, can't wait for 2024.
You know he's going to be rooting on Simon Olsen. That's, I mean, we're in the process of seeing the torch being handed between these two. I mean, all of Norway right now I know is awake and excited. I know there's a bunch of Norwegians in the building now, and I'm sure Frederick Aasbo is going to be cheering on Simon Olsen moving forward.
All right, Chris the Force Forsberg. This gentleman has definitely been busy, recently engaged to his lovely fiancée, Liz. Also, he has a new eBay show.
Yeah.
I mean, he's racing off-road next weekend. I mean, if you haven't watched his eBay show, be sure to check it out. Again, a very, very busy man. So Chris the Force Forsberg, 3-time champion, going against Trent Beechum, who has definitely progressed and risen, most recently out of Utah, really stepped it up. Had some troubles on his first run, but his second run was blazing. It was like a 80-something. Definitely would have been high, but a little too late. Here we go, Christopher Forsberg, and then all new NOS Energy Nissan Z. GT radials, absolutely ripping. Trent Beechum, Nexon tires, X, LS-powered BMW, past that inside clip. Trent Beechum dives in from the inside. Chris Forsberg, probably more turns on this track than anybody in Formula Drift history. Now past that inside clip and hitting that lily pad. Boom, exactly what we'd expect from Chris Forsberg. Beechum dropping back quite a bit. So a good run from Chris Forsberg at first glance.
Yeah, taking a look here, I mean, Chris gets a great job out of the hole, and I know Beechum was working through some gearing and electrical and charging issues earlier this weekend, but he isn't able to dive in at the correct moment. He gets a little bit early, has to hesitate to fall back, and that does push him back. That being said, Chris Forsberg out front doing a phenomenal job through this transition, able to get the car pointed. Beechum then cuts in and then tries to get the car to settle back in, but banging off the rev limiter that whole time, doesn't quite have the gearing that he needs in the chase right now with the Chris Forsberg, who's been looking faster and faster with every single run. So I'm hoping Beechum's got those charging gremlins all figured out. But taking a look here, you can see Forsberg is up against the wall. He's got the proximity, he's got good angle, tons of speed. Beechum is just sitting and bathing in that smoke the whole time. It's a very difficult thing to do, and it causes him to miss that inside clip. He's able to get back into it, but now he is a couple of car lengths back, starting to reel things in, but it's a little bit too little too late. So where it's going to get interesting now is Beechum with a car that seems to be geared a little bit differently. It's going to be a little bit slower, and Forsberg is going to have to hold that car back. So having a fast car is great in the lead, becomes a little bit more challenging in the chase. So
and he brought that up during your podcast. He's like, hey, can we stop? Like these cars are going to the moon.
Wild.
Yeah, they're going to the moon. Yeah. All right, here we go. Trenton Beechum out front, as you said. Can he dial it in? Get Chris Forsberg's new eBay show, Race Car Revival. Check it out on YouTube. As Trenton Beechum initiates, big angle, Chris. You talk about, overcooking it, but I think he might temper it back and then just start to reel him in, and there he is, dropping right into formation. Past an inside clip, here goes Beechum into that second outside zone. Chris dives in, again, a three-time champ. Beechum massive angle there, and great placement of that car. And Chris just right there, good proximity, and rolls it across that finish line. Again, you got to think about just the equity that Chris has compared to Trent Beechum. He's not a rookie, but just given the comparison of the two drivers.
Yeah, as we see Jonathan Castro there.
That's a big exhale.
That's a big exhale. This is veteran driving at its best. I mean, Chris Forsberg has been around a long time, and this is veteran driving. He let Beechum get away from a little bit, knowing that he could pick up the speed. This transition, so tight in there, and then watching Beechum now, just banging off the rev limiter the whole time. Chris doing a good job to keep the proximity, but not getting so close that if something happens with Beechum, he's not able to correct. Like I said, it's just veteran driving. This is how you play this smart. Some of the guys that are maybe younger or newer to this, they want to dive in and bang the door and be super aggressive. Chris knows that this is as much about getting around the track and finishing your run as it is about, being impressive and having a lot of proximity. He does it where it counts. Header zone 2. It's just very, very smart driving.
Yeah, he really kind of does that, especially in Seattle. You see Chris do that. He just really sinks in the sword there towards the end. So here we go,
slow.
Chris Forsberg, Trenton Beechum, and here we go. Let's make it official. Chris Forsberg gets the win as he advances on, taking out Trenton Beechum and that Clonex Nexon Tire BMW. There it is, the all-new Nissan Z. As we have a very hot track and a very hot driver. That was a big exhale. I don't know if you saw that, Loretta, or felt it off of Jonathan Castro. What's going through his mind?
Oh my gosh, you guys. He is so excited, and we were just discussing him going against the three-time champ of Frederick Aasbo. Jonathan Castro takes the win, and it's because going against someone like Frederick Aasbo, he gives you so much confidence to go 100%. Is that right?
Yeah, Freddie for me is one of the best drivers on the world. For me, well, maybe I would say the best driver that I know. And he's my inspiration. He's a person that I really look up, and I learned so much from him. And that gives me that extra % of trust with him. I know I had to put 100% because he's going to be in my door, and I can hear him. And he knew I'm going to do that, and I can trust him. Just throw a hard entry and go for it. That's what you guys saw there. It was an amazing run. We had a good time. It feels bad that happens now in top 32. I wish this happened in the finals, but I'm sure they're going to come next year. This might happen again.
Jonathan, thank you so much. We'll see him next in the top 16. Jared?
Thank you so much, Lorette, and congratulations, Castro, feeling the vibe. I know he's shooting some stuff, shooting some content, some TV. There's a lot of cameras out here today, a lot of video, a lot of photos, and you talked about the passing of the torch, you know, I would say for a whole new generation. Olsen, Stuke, rising stars amongst the Formula Drift paddock and the grid. Simon Olsen, third in standings. That's huge, man. Here we go. Fuel suspension S15 going against another S15 of the M-Spec vehicle of Daniel Stuke. Know he had some engine issues earlier this year, but Simon Olsen, I'll tell you what, man, again, that Bakshi's cam, Vigno's oil running through the veins into that second outside zone. Dialed. I mean, it's on rails. Look at this thing. I mean, it's magnetized. I mean, the car is not wavering whatsoever. And just making that a little more obvious on how settled the car is. Stuke struggling a little bit, a little squirrely, and look at that, the fist pump. You know, he's got his family here in the building, and like you said, a lot of Norwegian drivers, a lot of Vikings cheering him on.
Yeah, I love the way Simon Olsen's car will kind of get into angle and then just hold it, and it sits there. This is the part where these field cars really shine. The speed that they can get through that transition is wild, and Stuke does struggle to keep up with it. I mean, spoke with Stuke, it's a brand new engine. They've only run it for the first time yesterday, so probably a little bit of hesitation on a lot of this, but Stuke's a fighter. I mean, I know when this turns around, he goes for his lead run, he's gonna go wild. So he is a little bit behind here. The chase was not perfect. Simon Olsen out front though, having a great run. I mean, you really couldn't add more depth to it anywhere. You couldn't add more speed or more angle. He's touching all the points. He is where he needs to be. He is a force to be reckoned with this weekend.
All right, making some claims there, Jacob.
I'm saying.
Look at the warm Toyota embrace. This embrace brought to you by Toyota. There's a Norwegian flag. Hey, there's a Viking SPF 100. Okay, bro. I mean, again,
you're not used to this sun.
You're not. This sun will get you. I'll tell you what. It's kind of like in Utah, man.
Yeah.
Like, holy cow, that was a hot one. Here we go. Let's alternate the order here. Stuke will lead. Olsen will give chase. Olsen qualifying 9th. Stuke qualifying 24th. Stuke up front. Now, you know, what kind of approach is Simon Olsen going to take? We talked about that veteran driving of Chris Forsberg. You're going to overcook it. This is where, again, that equity really shines. Stuke a lot more comfortable now out front. He's got the clean air. You can see Olsen, a little bit of wavering, no problem. Give himself a little bit of room. This is where, again, you start to gain some ground. Get that proximity, get close to him. Like to see it consistently through the run, but I think he's given a little bit of dominant fashion there. Stuke using all the course. Pretty good run out there, out front by Stuke. But again, lead versus lead, chase versus chase. That's what we're breaking down. That's what the judges are breaking down.
Yeah, knowing Simon Spotter Matz, who is a brilliant mind in drifting, he is giving him very exact notes of how hard he needs to run this and how fast Stuke is going. And Simon does a good job here. He definitely could have been closer. There is still some left on the table, but in Outer Zone 2, he absolutely buries it in there and is able to keep things close in proximity. Stuke definitely a bit slower than the field cars, but Simon is doing a good job. I would have liked to have seen him be a little bit closer, maybe half the distance he is now. You don't want any, you don't want any doubt in the judge's mind that you're, chasing hard. So Stuke did have a really good lead run. I mean, nothing to take away from him, but it's just tough when you're facing a car that is this fast, this setup, and you're running an engine that you don't know. So.
All right, let's take a look. Simon Olsen, Daniel Stuke, and it looks like Simon Olsen gets 1 vote, 2 votes, and Olsen gets the win. It's unanimous. All right, well, we talked about the winner. We talked to the winner. Let's just call it what it is, Lorette. I'm sorry. I got a spade's a spade, but what's going through the 3-time champion's mind is to get taken out by his homeboy, Jonathan Castro.
Well, listen, guys, this is the mark of a true champion, and Frederick Aasbo came right over to talk to Jonathan Castro. What did you say to Jonathan?
Lots of things in Spanish. No, I congratulated him. He held it together while I did not, and it's always awesome driving with Jonathan, and of course, it's something I don't take lightly. And we've struggled the second part of the season. It started off really well, but now we've fallen behind. The sport's evolving so quick. All these drivers, not only Jonathan, but all of them are doing so well. So it's back to the drawing board for me and come back stronger.
Frederick, thank you so much. With the cars on track, we have to go. Thank you so much. Jared, back to you.
Thank you so much, Lorenz, and thank you, Frederick Aasbo. We'll see you at the banquet tomorrow night, and of course, we'll see you next season, Long Beach. The Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32 continues as we see Dylan the Dozer Hughes going against Alec Robbins. We know Alec Robbins is having some issues. His back left suspension, he says, was binding, something weird with the bearing, compacting. He had to change out the whole back left corner. Dylan the Dozer Hughes dealt with that broken hand earlier this year. His left hand was having some struggles, but that's all out the window. He had a great run last night. So the Royal Purple GT Radial BMW out front. There goes Dylan Hughes initiating into the bank. Looks like Alec Robbins has worked it out, gets good proximity, works his way to the top. Not the most graceful way, but gets that proximity. Pass that inside clip. Robbins takes it out. That front right light, but Dylan Hughes settle. Ooh, and Robbins looks like he does rotate. Has some issues. That'll be incomplete. Dylan Hughes does need to complete the entirety of this run, and he does just that. Gets out to that outside zone, and that lily pad, as I'm kind of calling it, and hits it and quits it. Good looking new livery there.
Yeah, I do like the livery. So taking a look here on that outer bank, you can see Dylan is able to get the car locked in. A couple spots where he's wavering. Alec Robbins doing everything he can to get back into the pocket there. And then as you see coming in here, he gets right back on the throttle and starts to overcook it. And that's basically it for Alec Robbins at that point in time. Dylan Hughes out front. A couple of spots he could have cleaned things up. The inner clip 2, it looks like he kind of punched it a little bit hard, but yeah, you just see Alec there taking a bit of a turn, hard turn there. So not entirely sure what happened, but yeah, I mean, Dylan Hughes had a great job out front. Other than the last little section there, I mean, everything looked really good. So they're going to swap it up now. Alec Robbins out front and Dylan Hughes chasing behind.
All right, so here we go. Let's see. Again, Alec Robbins sitting on that massive deficit. That's going to be a big uphill battle, knowing that Dylan Hughes, he's out for blood. But again, that self-made status, NST, Nissan 350Z of Robbins will be out front. Little hush falls over the crowd. Again, the smoke lingering. Not a lot of wind. It's definitely hot out here, kids. That's our standing room attendance, standing room only. Sold out. So if you're planning on coming down here, sold out. It's going to be absolutely packed out here. Parking is very difficult, so have some patience if you're coming in here. Have some patience. Maybe, I don't know, ride share. You know, I mean, everything. Carpool. Yeah. Do it all. I don't know. Just don't, you know, be patient. That's all I'm saying. Here we go. Alec Robbins out front. Dylan Hughes in that chase position. Robbins a little bit of shimming there on that outside zone 1. Ooh, and there goes Robbins. Ooh, that could have been a lot worse, but that will seal it because in that lead position, when you have that mistake out front, the chase car does not need to complete the entirety of the run as the Forged Star wheels wrapped in GT radials finishes out the entirety of the course. The Royal Purple 2JZ BMW crosses the finish line. We'll see him. And all your crowns. I see all you Royal Purple crown wearing fans out there. You're cheering for the man. That is Dylan the Dozer Hughes, Jake.
Yeah, Alec Robbins. I mean, he was just trying to cook this as hard as he possibly could. He knew he was at a deficit, and why not just throw it? So I'm not entirely sure what was going on. We did talk about him having some mechanicals, and it's tough. You only get so much practice, and you only have so much time to chase down those gremlins, and he didn't get it completely sorted. I mean, we both know Alec Robbins can shred. I mean, he's had a top qualifier before. We've seen him battle it out, and it's just unfortunate. But now he's got a nice off-season.
Yep.
Get some rebuilds going, and see him next year.
Yep. Let's make it official. Slide up left for Dylan Hughes. And Dylan Hughes gets the win and advances on into the top 16. Looks like he's going to be going against either Ryan Tuerck or Taylor Hull in the next battle. So again, Hull and Tuerck is our next battle. Dylan Hughes waits to see who's going against. Has got a little bit of debris up on the bank as we take a look at the bracket. The top 16 advancing. There are the names, and you can see on that far right-hand side, Odi Bakshi's with the bye run, with 2 of the drivers failing to qualify. So no back versus Castro. Forsberg versus Simon Olsen. That should be one heck of a good battle. And Dylan Hughes waits to find out his fate of who will be going against. The All-American Taylor Hull. I say that because he drives a Corvette, American driver. But Ryan Tuerck, definitely All-American as well, but behind the wheel of his Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla, that hot hatchback. So as the crowds begin to stream in, we had a line going from the gates before we opened them all the way down the drag strip, and it was very extensive. This is the Drivers' Championship standings. Olsen advances, Aasbo's out, so obviously Frederick is out, and Odi advances. So you know, Denofa, Field, and they could, if they advance on, I'm talking about Denofa and Field, they could meet in the 8.
Yeah, we've been sitting down for, I mean, it feels like all day just talking about what could happen if this person goes there. There is a ton of math. Honestly, the best bet, let's just see how top 32 shakes out, and then we can start, working on all the variables. But either way, if Chelsea has any problems, Matt has any problems, it shakes things up. But we know Olsen's moving on, so still got a chance.
It would be very poetic as we got tandem in the bleachers. Are there Chelsea Denofa fans out there? Who's pulling for Denofa to get the champion?
360.
Oh, wow, look at these guys. Oh, tandem. I mean, I saw they definitely made contact there. I blame the gentleman in the lifeguard hat. I think he was just too aggressive with the hips because they call him Shakira. That was his nickname in college. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah. Hey, talking about simulator in the bleachers, if you haven't already, Sim Magic. Go buy the Sim Magic activation because, again, you can win an experience giveaway during the halftime break at the Sim Magic tent. So head to the Sim Magic activation tent. Get ready to experience the ultimate drift simulators. Our simulators offer a hyper-realistic drifting experience that will leave you feeling like a pro. And GoPro, thank you to their support as we look at a chase for the championship. And again, Chelsea Denofa on a tear, leads the championship, announces retiring. What a way to end a career in Formula Drift out on top. Here's our GoPro chase for the championship.
Are you ready, Salt Lake City? We're heating things up with round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We've seen 6 previous rounds with 6 different winners, from Long Beach to St. Louis.
Well, we got an all-American battle, baby. That's right, Chelsea Denofa. He is leading the championship. On the other side, Matt Field. You're 1 and 2 in the championship. Here we go. Send it! Chelsea Denofa initiated in the front of Matt Field. Oh, we got contact. Holy cow. Yard sale. It is fault for Field. If Denofa wins this final battle, he gets a 53-point lead over Matt Field. Matt Field out front. Denofa dialing back a little bit, finding the sweet spot. Chelsea Denofa gets the win.
Congratulations on your 3rd win of the season.
Join us there. The final round, round 8, Irwindale, California.
Rockstar Energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
Look at that, gentlemen. Winner in Atlanta, RTR, the boss, giving you the fist. He's ready to knock some fools out here today. He got the win in Atlanta. He got the championship in 2010 and 2020. Took a hiatus last year, but now he is back in the building. Taylor Hull, Ryan Tuerck, that's our next battle. Taylor Hull, Kenda Tires, Comp Cams, Edelbrock. He's running a lot of different companies, and he is running that cowboy hat. Well, the hat's off right now. The helmets on, the skid lid, as we take a look at Ryan Tuerck, that Rain X Toyota GR Corolla Nitto tires. The race service cats are cheering him on. He's made 2 semifinals in a row. One of the best qualifying drivers this year. I think, when we go to our banquet tomorrow, I'm thinking, I would have to assume he had the best qualifying collectively the entire year. I don't know if Jim Lau would agree with that. He's kind of the mathematician when it comes to those kind of things, so he's got to work out all the numbers as we are taking a look at Taylor Hull, who actually out-qualified Ryan Tuerck. So we talked about that earlier. Frederick Aasbo and Jonathan Castro, that was by 1, but Ryan Tuerck qualifying 20th compared to 13th of Taylor Hull.
There's a few of those in this bracket. We got another one coming up here soon.
Here we go, Taylor Hull out front. Full pull Hull. Ryan Tuerck is going to need to get that 4-cylinder turbo nitrous hot hatchback to the side of the Corvette. And again, the stars and stripes of Taylor Hull puts it to the wall, transitions. Look at that, Ryan Tuerck, almost identical time. Now coming that second outside zone, this is where a lot of the drivers are having some trouble. They get that proximity, but now he drops into formation. Good job by Ryan Tuerck. And I'll tell you what, Taylor Hull is on one. Absolute great placement of that Corvette. Ryan Tuerck had a good lead run in order to chase it. So let's see.
Yeah, Tuerck's follow here. It's almost like he's predicting what Taylor Hall's going to do. So he's done his homework, but Taylor Hall out front could add a little bit more angle on outside zone 1, but getting a lot of speed and really cooking those Kenda tires. Going to be a little bit deeper on that clip as they transition in. This is where we see Ryan Tuerck start to go to work and is able to kind of predict what's going to happen here with Taylor Hall, who does a great job through that second outside zone and that inner clip. Could have been a little bit deeper on that last outside zone, but watch as Ryan Tuerck is able to make these decisions at the same time that Taylor Hall is. It's so cool to see. As they come through this zone, you can watch Taylor start to move the car a little bit, and Ryan is doing it right there with him. So Ryan able to, really show that veteran status. But that being said, Taylor Hall out front, this is some of the best driving we've seen from him all year, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do in the chase.
Yeah, and he was really transparent about it. He had a tough go in Utah and just feeling it. He, good qualifying position, as you said, 13th. And would love to end the season with a high, and again, collect his thoughts, collect his car. He's again another busy man, just with building cars and just doing a lot of different things, storage and just
circle track, doing some
circle
track stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Ryan Tuerck busy as well. He's got that new Toyota Stout. That's a great car. And we were down in Australia for doing some time attack stuff. So let's see. But Ryan Tuerck would love to get the win here at Irwindale. Ryan Tuerck initiates a high on the bank. Oh, Taylor Hull gets into the wall. Tuerck does need to complete this run, and that was definitely not induced by anything that Ryan Tuerck did in that Rain X Toyota GR Corolla. The Nitto tires keep on moving and crosses the finish line, hits the lily pad, and the car coincidentally looking like a bullfrog, squatted. But Taylor Hull just unfortunately had a major mistake there in that chase position. That's a tough break for Taylor Hull. He had a great lead run.
I know.
What went wrong?
Hindsight's 20/20 here, but you can almost start to see this fall apart just after they leave the box. Taylor does not get the jump that he wants, and then gets this gap put on him, and watch as he puts on the throttle to try and catch up, and it pushes him out to the wall. So we talked about this so many times that one mistake somewhere else in the track can just ruin the rest of the run, and this is a perfect example. Having that gap, getting into a little bit of a panic mode, pushes him to the wrong line. So he almost needed to get onto more throttle, adding more angle in, or left foot brake or e-brake or something to get the back end to come around. And it looks like he went to do that, but it was too little too late. Ryan Tuerck able to finish off the rest of that run. I'm always curious if the spotters jump in their ear and say, hey, the guy crashed out behind you, just take it easy. I mean, I have no idea. I think that would freak me out.
I think there's a code word.
Yeah, it's sort of like a light that comes on.
Yeah. Grenade. All right, so Ryan Tuerck.
Cowboy down.
Yeah. Banana sandwich. Ryan Tuerck gets the win, advances on. Taylor Hull gets into the wall, unfortunately. And Ryan Tuerck gets a fast pass. He'll be going against Dylan Hughes. These guys have had some fun over the years, but you guys are going to see the repercussions of a couple good drivers. You staying under the heat, that's right, Ryan Sage is, but he's going to be staying in the heat later on in top 16. And looks like Taylor Hull does need a full pole toe, unfortunately.
Yeah, Dylan Hughes and Ryan Tuerck will be good. Anytime that the drivers have kind of grown up together or are driven together a lot, those battles are going to be great because there's so much respect there, and they know each other's driving really, really well. Yeah, looks like he's going to need that toe.
Yep. Okay, as we see Toyota GR Corolla being backed in. If you have not already seen it, tune in now. Season 2, out now. What is it? Well, I'm talking about Controlled Chaos. Controlled Chaos capturing the season of Ryan Tuerck, that driver, and 3-time champion Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo. Controlled Chaos on YouTube now. Here's a short little teaser.
Here we go. Your winner, round 1. Look at Aasbo. He's a magician. Rain or shine, he's got the down for a good time. You can't count anybody out.
Everybody's really pushing the envelope. One mistake, and that's it.
Oh, my goodness. Go! We're in the playoffs, man. We are fighting for tooth and nail.
We've got 20 seconds to shine. We can't make any mistakes.
The championship is on the line. Matfield is out. Your winner, Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo! Taking a look at the Rockstar energy drink display there. Go on by, grab a can, grab a good time. I see Parker Dienda, that's my son right there to the left. Parker over there announcing, and you could win a helmet, grab a can, that all-new Starfield C8 Corvette. That thing's pretty sweet, right?
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah. All right, so again, our 2 pilots, Controlled Chaos. That's him. That's my son.
That's my boy.
That's pretty cool. I love that. And here's a look at how the top 16 bracket is shaping up. Going from a Rockstar Energy Drink top 32 to the Royal Purple top 16. And, you know, we are talking about who's advancing on, and one of those drivers, all right, I got to see his emotion. Lorette, hype him up. But guess what? He's going against Chris Forsberg. Does he know that?
Do you know you're going against Chris Forsberg? Yes, he knows. He knows,
Okay.
Jared. So your 3rd year in Formula Drift. You're now sitting 3rd in the championship points. Simon, man, what a journey this has been for you. And coming into Irwindale, you said that outside Zone 1 has been a little bit tricky. So what are you doing to find solutions there?
Yeah, first off, sitting 3rd in championship is insane. So, yeah, just got to let that be for a moment and focus on driving. But, yeah, Irwindale has always been a hard track for me. But, of course, we have such a toolbox with the team here. So it's so helpful to have them around, having my back at all times, working out the setup, and that's what we have been doing. I've been struggling a little bit on practice and qualifying on the high bank, and of course a little bit other places as well, but I think we have the groove now, and we're going for it.
I love that type of attitude. And you told me that there was butterflies that were coming into today, and that's now being replaced with confidence. What do you think is the key to that?
That's practice and just making that good run that gives the confidence. And of course, we are now going into the most important night in my motorsport career. So of course there's some butterflies. I really want that silver cup, or at least one of them. So yeah, it's just I have that very high up that I really want that, and I know we can do it. So it's just trying to keep it together and focus is confident, and just go out there and do the work.
I appreciate the insight. Thank you so much, Simon. We'll see him in top 16. Jared?
Hey, where are my Simon Olsen fans at? I see a few Norwegian flags out there. As again, my man Rutledge Wood tuning in. We got Ashley and Josh McJenkin. You know what? Shut up and just watch this, Josh. Okay, just watch this battle. This is a good one. My man Rutledge Wood is watching right now. You know the floor is lava guy.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels.
Kids love it.
Yeah. Ultimate Challenge. You know. So yeah, everybody loves Rut. We'll be hanging at SEMA show for sure. Be out there all week. Here we go as we are seeing a João Barion in that Pedal Commander burnout box. João Barion coming to us from Brazil. Had a little bit of issues yesterday. Got it dialed, got it worked out. But here he is. He's going against Forrest Wang. I mean, two very different style drivers, vehicles, backgrounds. I mean, these guys, I don't know if they've ever seen competition before. What do you think? Which Wang are we going to see? Just the get out there, or the big Wang things, or are we going kind of little Wang things? What we got, Jacob?
I think he's going to be a little more calculated. I mean, I want to see the style, I want to see the craziness, but I do think Forrest Wang is here to put on a show, but he also wants to advance on, so I don't know, we'll see. I mean,
okay.
I'm down for a stylish Wang, that's for sure.
Okay, yeah. All right, we'll see. We'll see if which Wang gang we say. Here we go, Forrest Wang out front, Joao Barion in the chase position. Here we go, we're about to get loud and proud. Here we go to that first outside zone 1, the Yellow Speed Racing Gittin Laboratory S15. He's all about that V8. Well, guess what? He's going to see if he can take one down. Both of them very dialed on the outside zone. Just to say that Joao comes out of angle, past that inside clip into outside zone 2. And again, that little knuckle is definitely threatening. It kind of jumps out at you. But Joao Barion, a very different Joao from last night to tonight. He found the secret sauce. It's just a little higher than he could reach last night. And it seems like he sprinkled it all over that Corvette. So great job by Joao. Came up a little bit short on that last little lily pad outside zone 3.
Yeah, we did see some hesitation here and there from Joao, but probably the best proximity we've seen out of him in Formula Drift. Forrest Wang could have been a little bit deeper on the first outside zone. Good transition here, a lot more angle than we saw in qualifying. Joao kind of punches that and is able to get back on the throttle and start to get the proximity back. This is where we were talking about that wavering as he's trying to get, proximity and speed back in the car. You got to scrub a bit of angle. It's not easy to do, but overall, Joao Barion had a really solid chase run when it comes to the proximity side of things. Could have worked on the angle. Forrest out in the lead, though, doing everything he needs to do. Nice and deep there on that inside clip. Able to get the car floated out to outside zone 2, and then just holds it there. You can see that front left wheel. You want to see that basically on that line until you have to start to push the car out to the second inside clip. Doesn't make all of that last zone, but I mean, it was a solid run from Forrest Wang.
Yeah, we were kind of like, where was this last night?
I know,
man?
yeah.
Like, there you are, Peter. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think he wanted to get in the show. I think he didn't want to overcook things. I know they've been working through a couple of strange engine issues, speaking with some people on his team, but I mean, he's a 2J master. He's going to get it figured out.
Rufio. Let's go. Here we go. Joao Barion will be up front. Forrest Wang in the chase position. Look at Forrest. Forrest giving a little bit of jump there. Maybe tempering his flame, and no, look at that. So, bam, right to side. Joao Barion, not as clean as I anticipated out front. There comes Joao. You got to think about tire attrition too. Forrest Wang very shallow on that transition, but Joao, you know what? This might be Forrest kind of dealing with what's going on up front with Joao. Just kind of up and down, side to side, living it up till the day we die as he crosses that finish line. This is a tough one here.
Yeah, when you start to see any wavering out front as the chase driver, you have to be very cautious because you don't know what's going on. Joao coming in low. Forrest, you can see him starting to pull back, going, I don't know what's going to happen here. Does a good job, though, being consistent behind him. And then you see Joao here, huge left foot brake. So it seems like there is some sort of power issue going on with Joao's car. But Forrest, kind of tempering the chase in order to make sure that if something does happen, he's not going to go careening into the side of him. When you've got that much of a gap, if there is a problem, there's a lot of closing speed. So you have to be careful. But Forrest, playing it very, very smart. Joao Barion, I don't know. I mean, I know this car can get hot quick, and I'm curious if maybe he really put a lot of heat into the car in the first run. Second run, the ECU starts to make changes, and it will bring power down.
And that goes into the point of which Forrest Wang are we going to see, and there's strategy there, and just we keep talking about attrition. It's hot out here.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of umbrellas, not because it's rain, because it's hot. So that equates to hot cars, hot drivers, all those factors.
Hot tires. Yeah, it's so much. We talked about in qualifying that after scraping the bank, it is eating through tires at a rate that nobody has experienced here in 20 years. That bank was cooked. It was covered in tires. There was 20 years of rubber history there. Yep. And now we're back down to pavement, so it's like sandpaper. So guys aren't able to run setups that they're used to. The predictions that they had of how many tires they're going to go through this weekend is completely out the window, but let's see what happens.
Slide him left for Forrest Wang or right for Joao Barion, and Forrest Wang gets the win. Forrest Wang moves on to our Royal Purple Top 16. And, you know, that bears repeating, Jacob. You talked about, you know, scraping that off. What happened is basically, I don't know if you saw social media on Formula Drift, but Kevin and the team, they basically scraped the track. It was like a rubber Zamboni machine that came out here. It took them 2 weeks to scrape it, hundreds of pounds of rubber. So you got to imagine what that does, unearthing that, right? And it's going to create it to be more porous, as you said. So I would say it's like Seattle, because Seattle is a very abrasive track. It's like a 5-grit sandpaper. When you throw more rubber on that, it's going to create a different surface, you know. And then, you know, you heat it up, you cycle it, you know, because both it's on the ground, but you're throwing rubber on top of rubber. Yo, dog, I heard you like rubber. Here's some more rubber. So it's pretty interesting, but it's definitely changed the dynamic of driving. Speaking of driving, the kind of the future, the veteran Diego Higa versus Gittin Jr. And the way Diego Higa drove last night, look at these kind of newer guys are out qualifying the vets.
12 and 21.
12 Diego Higa qualified at. Again, the Diego Higa JDM Supreme vehicle against Gittin Jr. and that Monster Energy Nitto tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD. Again, Gittin Jr. winning in Atlanta. He had some great posts and gratitude towards his RTR teammates. You know, Chelsea will tell his story. He reached out to Vaughn and said, I'm driving for you.
I know.
He told him that. It wasn't Vaughn going to Chelsea. Chelsea seeked out Vaughn and says, look, I'm going to hang on my helmet now, or I'm driving for you. So, again, some great history there. Past champions, 19 previous years. I believe it's, I've done the math before, I think 7 or 8. Do you know how many previous champions we've had collectively over the years? 19 years, but I'll count them out right now. But one of the two-time champions, Gittin Jr. Diego Higa out front, initiated a little bit of you saw that wheel kind of chalk up real quick, but big angle there from Diego Higa, that JDM Supreme 86. Now past this inside clip, quick little initiation and transition into that second outside zone. Gittin Jr., this is where he thrives. Ooh, but he does get some grip. Again, that side bite caused him to shoot out towards the front of Diego Higa's vehicle. So he did have good proximity, but on that second outside zone, seemed like he made himself a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I want to see with this replay what happens to Diego Higa, because he does look like he slowed down potentially in a spot that he shouldn't have. But this first outside bank, Higa's doing a great job up top, and Vaughn doing a good job to keep the proximity, scrubbing a little bit of angle, and you can see him wavering back and forth. Transitions really early from Diego Higa. Vaughn may have reinitiated there, I'm not sure. But Diego is very slow going through outside zone 2 and then has to pour on the power again. So that is going to weigh heavy against him. That is not, he should be in an acceleration zone, not in a decel zone. So that causes Vaughn to have to check up. We talked about how weird these cars kind of get off throttle, and it makes it very difficult. But did Vaughn go straight there? Did Diego Higa decel in out zone 2? There's going to be a lot to review. I've already seen the judges whip through the replays. They're looking at very specific spots to understand what's going on. And they've got replays that we're not able to see here.
Right. That we're not showcasing.
Yeah,
exactly. We can actually see it, but you, the fans, we're not giving you all the angles. We have a multiple split screen, which is a great utilization, kind of scrub it back and forth and quickly get to a particular section, slow it down, speed it up, and really get analyzing the runs.
Enhance.
All right, here we go. Gittin Jr., two-time champ. Champ is in the building. Gittin Jr. out front. Gittin Jr. initiating into that first bank. And that first outside zone filling all of it. Now Diego Higa alternates position. Vaughn throwing a little bit more gangster angle at it past that inside clip. Just a lot tidier out front is Vaughn. Oh, he tapped the bumper. He gets involved. He gets in that second outside zone, leaving nothing to the imagination how close he got. And into that final lily pad, shreds it. Maybe a little bit of send-off there for Chelsea Nova. Hey, thanks for being my teammate. I'll do that too. Little bumper send-off. It's like a 21 gun salute, but it's the 21 bumper salute.
I mean, Vaughn basically took him to Gapplebee's here. He showed him just how much power these RTRs have. Now, he is not super high on the bank, and he doesn't have a ton of angle through outside zone 1, but a ton of angle through that first inside clip. Once they get into outside zone 2, Vaughn does tap just a little bit, is able to hold it in the zone and pour on a little bit more angle. And Diego Higa just doesn't really have an answer there as he gets bathed through smoke through that last zone. But you can see from that angle that Vaughn has to make a big adjustment in that first outside zone. Inside clip looks great. And then right here, just a little boop, and is able to get back to the throttle, pushing that car back out. The worst thing you can do there is lift, because it'll snap that car back around, and we'd be looking at 2 RTRs with some serious damage. So Diego Higa was far back. What this is going to come down to is that first run and those mistakes, potentially a straighten by Vaughn and potentially a decel in an acceleration zone from Diego Higa.
Do you think that was drastic enough to be a straighten?
I don't know. It's really, really tough.
Well, I asked you a question. A or B? There's no C. There's no D, all the above. No, and I appreciate you. Hold that, bite your tongue, because we do not obviously want to, you know, obviously.
Don't want to call it too early.
Yes, exactly. If you haven't already, be sure to go by the Formula Drift merchandise tent during the halftime break. Also, go by the Fast Kids Club.
Ugh.
I know we got some awesome young fans out there. So, again, the Fun Kids Club. Brought to you, again, they are doing some awesome things. Eat, Sleep, Race. They have ABCs for the future drifters. Do you have one of these? Your kids are too old for this, right?
I got one that would.
Okay, well, here we go.
Yep.
All right. Oh, look at this one more time. So 1, 2, and 3 one more time. I think that's the fair way to go.
I agree.
I think it's kind of tit for tat. You guys both made some mistakes, kind of, you know, simple ones, but it's still, it wasn't incomplete. So guess what, Jacob? I think one of your littles gets a ABCs for future drifters book, Jacob. So if you haven't picked one up, really cool. Fast Kids Club, Eat, Sleep, Race. They're in the building. Go by, get some Formula Drift merchandise from the ladies and the gals and the guys over there. Got some hats, got some beanies, got a bunch of things. When we come back, we got to clean up here on aisle 1. Don't go anywhere here. Round 8 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship here at Irwindale, the House of Drift.
This is Tuerck Motorsport.
Driving too fast, I don't wanna wait. We driving the days, we stepping in late. Nothing but blind and real the tape. Let's be alive, but we gonna skate. Let's be alive, but we gonna skate. You wanted to ride, you wanted to ride.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
For 30 Formula Drift teams, our professional Tire Stacks crew will mount over 1,000 tires during a weekend to keep our drivers on track, competing at the highest level. TireStacks.com, the official tire service of Formula Drift.
Something has awakened. The horsepower and torque you always knew was there, just waiting to make every drive thrilling. Track tested, off-road proven, performance for everything you drive. Drive better with K&N.
Rockstar Energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
Hey guys, I'm Nadine, the founder of Throttle, and today I'm here with Gittin Jr. because we've got some news.
We do have some exciting news.
What do you want to tell them?
Well, I'm pumped to be partnering with Throttle as a strategy officer. You know, since what you've been doing, and we've met and really jived about the possibility with the technology that you've created. You know, this is my passion, and I am a true hot-blooded enthusiast. And I think what Throttle is doing, connecting enthusiasts, generating experiences, and becoming a central point for people at events to be able to, you know, connect and create experiences. The options are just endless, and it's about time somebody put such a focus on the enthusiasts to connect them. And I'm just excited with all the things that we've got brewing up. I think it's just going to be a game changer with how people communicate, how meets are created, experiences that, you know, people can share. I'm super pumped, and you know, hats off to you for having the vision, and I'm grateful to be able to work with you to kind of bring some extra salt and pepper and make some magic with it.
Well, you know what? We are pumped to have Vaughn with us because he is bringing the fun to Throttle. Definitely him and his team. And you know what? We're excited about getting into the off-road scene too with you. So it's not only for enthusiasts, but we're going to make the lives of event organizers super easy. So we're going to have a lot of fun things. So keep watching and make sure you give Vaughn a follow on Throttle, guys.
Yeah, thank you all, and yeah, get excited. The future is bright, and you got some amazing technology. So let's make it happen.
Woo!
Ow!
Right there, we are looking at the hot pits. Now, what that is their temporary pits while they're in the action. And what's going to happen here as the day and going into the evening progresses is you'll see, well, right now 30, and then it'll be down to 16. And then there'll be 8, and then there'll be 4, and then there will be 2. So taking a look at the Drivers' Championship standings, Chelsea Denofa with that points lead. You do the math, 53 points above field. Aasbo, Bakshis mathematically are out. So again, keep that in mind. So really, for the championship, it is all about Chelsea Denofa and field. So here is a huge battle. Kazuya Taguchi, Matt Field. Taguchi absolutely on it. What did he qualify yesterday, to be exact? Was it 10th? Is that 10th? No, that's not exactly right. No.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been crushing it through practice as well. He's picked up a lot of speed. Kazuya drives with a ton of angle. You know, obviously that Japanese style, but he's starting to adapt and starting to dial in the speed, and it's going to be a very interesting battle with Matt.
Here we go, Kazuya Taguchi, Up Garage ISR Performance Vehicle, Matt Field, that Borla exhaust, Heat Wave, Lean Customs. There we go, the 4 stars go around with the GT radials wrapped around him. Matt Field second in points. This is a must win for him and the championship that's up for grabs. Kazuya Taguchi initiates, sticks it right to the wall. Matt Field goes into the wall.
Oh no!
Matt Field goes into the wall. Kazuya Taguchi must finish this run in order to advance on.
Wow.
Hold on. An absolute unsuspecting and
wow. Just, we're both shook. I want to make sure he's okay. I mean, first and foremost, make sure that Matt's all right. Fire and safety's there, but wow.
So the repercussions here is Matt Field's out of the car. Make some noise for Matt Field, the beast from the Bay. Borla exhaust, Heat Wave, Lean Customs, GT Radial, Drift Cave driver, San Jose, California, 777. And keep in mind, history repeats itself. Last year, much different weather conditions. The wet, the rain, the rubber initiated, threw him into that very same point that now, in an absolute bone-dry scenario. So what happens now is, one, Matt Field is okay. He is safe. That's good. But now his team needs to start working on this vehicle ASAP. It's not over just yet. One, as far as the championship. Two, as far as even this evening. We were scheduled to see Denofa as we take a look at him in the cockpit. He was scheduled to go against Christos Bluss. We might go back to Diego Higa and Vaughn Gittin Jr. because we're going to get Matt Field off the course. And here's the scenarios, Jacob. Follow me. Field gets towed off. He sits on an incomplete. Kazuya Taguchi had his run. Field will have 5 minutes in his NGK competition timeout to fix his vehicle adequate enough to lead. If Kazuya Taguchi has a mistake in that chase position, lead versus lead, chase versus chase. They will assess that. Eyes on the prize. This gentleman right here, Chelsea, is wicked calm. But Matt Field's scenario, it's not over just for him as far as today, going into tonight, and even the championship. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I guess is to maybe watch the replay to make sure that Kazuya, I mean, didn't do anything and weird in front, but yeah, I mean, this is crazy. It looks like Kazuya may have tapped a little bit, but he kept into it, and I mean, Matt doing everything he can to try and get as much proximity and as much angle. This overhead view is really going to tell what happens here. But you can see Kazuya real deep in outer one, has a very, very light tap, and then Matt taps in a very similar place behind him, and Kazuya able to finish on. So you know Matt's team is able to get this car together. They're expert mechanics. They're able to get everything together in as quick a time as possible. And you know right now in the pits they're getting everything sorted. Matt would have reported in and said, you know, this is what's going on, this is what we need to get ready, but this really changes things up. So it's going to it's going to really open the door here for Simon to be able to climb up a bit higher, and potentially Matt may be out. Now, it's not over yet, though. If Matt can get things back together, as Jared said, and Kazuya has an issue, and they could potentially go one more time, Matt has some redemption. So there's still a lot that can happen here. It is by no means over, but there's, you know, the scenarios start to slim down as different drivers are getting knocked out in different situations happen.
Yeah, and we're up here. I'm talking with Ryan Sage, president of Formula Drift, and talking through the scenario, so I appreciate you kind of elaborating on the scenario here. Look at the smiles on the faces. Everybody is really calm in that RTR. And think about, look, I mean, we're seeing James Dean in the back there. You know, I mean, think about what that team went through yesterday, trying to get James Dean's vehicle back up to qualifying condition. He gets through. I mean, RTR has just seen the ups and downs this year, man. From, again, the up, Vaughn coming back, winning in Atlanta. You know, it kept rolling. Let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, between Chelsea, Adam LZ, and then kind of, you know, okay, there's some lulls here and there, you know, and then Chelsea steamrolled. But then coming into Irwindale, and that's why Irwindale is so, I'm just going to call it, for me as a storyteller, magical.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about PTSD for Matt Field.
It's just so unpredictable, and that's why I love this event so much. We talk about the magic that is this place, the presence that it has, and it's so unforgiving. There is nowhere where you can make a mistake that you aren't immediately punished.
He's had such a great season. I saw him this morning in the elevator, hit him his lovely wife, and I said, and he had sandals on, he flip-flops. I said, "Man, you going down to the pool?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Okay, just kind of lighthearted," and that's our relationship. You know? And Matt sometimes has an intensity that is somewhat intimidating at times, and he also sometimes has this great calmness. You know, he works hard, he parties harder. You know, him and Ripper, you know, they just did an offshore boat race, you know, and to Catalina, and just that's the person he is. So I said to Matt, I said, "Hey man, no matter what, you had one hell of a season."
Yeah.
And he says, "You're right, I did." So as a hush falls over the crowd, Matt Field, Kazuya Taguchi go against each other in the 32. To remind you, Kazuya Taguchi out front, Matt Field in the chase position, hits the wall. Once again, in wet conditions last year, in dry conditions, bone dry, he hits it again. So, ideally we go back to Diego Higa, Von Gittin Jr. Matt Field does have his NGK competition timeout. As soon as, right there, the Drift Cave gentlemen, they're gonna get their hands in the car. They have 5 minutes in order to get the car up and running in adequate condition to go against and finish out Kazuya Taguchi, that battle. He's sitting on an incomplete. Matt Field would lead, Kazuya Taguchi giving chase. The scenario would be that Kazuya would need to make a mistake to offset and counterbalance that incomplete of Matt Field.
Yeah, and you know, this is where the prep and this is the difference, you know, really between the pro levels and people coming up. You know, they've got full suspension corners ready to go that are already aligned for the specs that the car is currently running at, and they've done everything that they can right now. The car is already up on jack stands coming off the trailer. This is going to be the most intense 5 minutes that they're going to see all year. I mean, this is
this team has seen those kind of hurdles, and they have conquered them.
They have.
And that's what's really cool about the progression of this Formula Drift team and family, and everybody has their independent different families and tribes and you know, cavemen as they, you know, their drift cave, that's their shop, that's what they call it. And, you know, everybody has seen these hurdles. These cars have taken just such a hit this season. Looks like we're getting a little prep here.
Yeah, they're just taking a look. I mean, they're not putting hands on the car to start work. The moment they do that is when those 5 minutes starts, and that's it. That's once it begins, you have to get this done. So,
all right. So again, there is the competition timeout. NGK competition timeout will be utilized as soon as they get hands on the car, assessing from a distance which corner got the most damage. I mean, obviously, it seemed like that front right. So
yeah. Yeah, and that's the hard part is if you tap the back, you know, you might have some damage there.
No way.
And then, you know, when you come around and slam the front, it's going to do a lot of damage to the front corner. So what we are hearing is that, again, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, if Matt Field does not advance on, Chelsea Denofa will be our champion. He has to win his 32 battle. Just to clarify. So we are getting word that the Drift Cave, the Borla Exhaust, Heat Wave, Lean Customs Corvette is calling it. Wow. They are saying they are not able to fix the vehicle. They are calling it, saying they are not working on the car. Matt Field inspects underneath that corner. So Matt Field is out. Kazuya Taguchi does have to complete his bye run. Round of applause for Matt Field and his team. What a season this year. An absolute legend and a all-around great guy. Your heart goes out to him. Yeah.
That's just, you know, and you know, Chelsea, I'm sure he's kind of getting feedback. His spotter's in his ear. You know, his Chow's his spotter up here in the box. You know, just so much. I'm gutted for him, and we were both kind of jaws were on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we saw that tap happen, both you and I basically just started hitting each other, going like, "Oh, what's going on?" It's crazy.
This is Irwindale.
This is Irwindale. That's the best way to put it. This is Irwindale. That's it. So, I mean, huge shout out to Matt Field and this whole team. This has been a war of attrition, and you know this is just more motivation for next year. I mean, the Matt Field that came out of his last Irwindale going into Long Beach was crazy, and we've seen him drive like a madman all season, and I can't imagine the amount of motivation he's going to have going into next year as Matt's spotter comes through the booth here.
An absolute just a tumultuous ball of emotions here from, you know, one man's failure is another man's success when it comes to drifting here, but you don't want to see it go down like this.
No.
You know, and it was no easy task going against Kazuya. You know, Matt in that chase position. Let's take a look at it again. So let's lay out and listen as we take a look. Kazuya Field. That Matt right, he tapped that wall and it sucked that front right back, that front right into that wall.
Yeah, and you can see how far back that front wheel is pushed. I mean, there may be, if they're calling it, there may be subframe damage. There may be more than just, you know, some control arms.
Yeah, you can see it, just that front right tucked in.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you got to think this chassis has been banged up. If you didn't already see it, the C8 Corvette drift car down there in the Heatwave booth, very cool. That's the future. Matt Field has taken such a holistic approach to his program. Matt Field is out of competition. He has retired, not utilizing his NGK competition timeout. The championship's still up for grabs. The variable is Chelsea Denofa, leading the points, would have to win his top 32 battle against Christoph Bluss in the 32. The scenarios will unfold as we get to them. And if he doesn't, Simon Olsen has to win the event in order to get that championship and go from third place to the winner and the champion. What a storybook Norwegian Viking battle that would be if one Simon Olsen, who's already in the 16, right? Olsen would going against Forsberg, a three-time champion.
Not an easy battle.
Not an easy battle right there in the 16. He'd have to progress on, go against either Castro or Novak, so on and so forth. We'll get to that. Again, Matt Field throws on his Heatwave glasses. The suit is off. The Momo suit is off. the smile on his face. I can't wait to share a beer with him and wrap my arms around him and say, what a year, man. Matt Field, hold your head high, brother. We'll see you at the banquet. You're highly supported by your sister, your mom, your wife, your dad, everybody. Here we go. Back to the Diego Higa. Vaughn Gittin Jr. battle. This is a one more time battle. Diego Higa, JDM Supreme 86. Vaughn Gittin Jr. He gets really close to Higa. You can see him just massaging his way to the side of that JDM Supreme vehicle. Vaughn Gittin Jr. dropping back quite a bit, and now, whoa, slingshots his way to the side of Higa. The Brazilian pilot has the two-time champion in his rearview mirror and brings it across the finish line. Wow, did you see that grip?
It really shows what these RTRs are able to do on and off throttle. Diego Higa getting out nice and wide here for that first outside zone. Vaughn getting some wavering as we get to this transition point, though. Higa throws on a bunch of angle, and Vaughn gets lost in the sauce, but then able to grip up and shoot the car over as they get to outside zone 2, and then Vaughn kind of narrowing in a little bit, but Higa a little bit slow once again through that outside zone 2. I mean, some hesitation for sure from Higa. It almost looked like he left foot brake coming off the bank. And as they get into the second outside zone, you can see here Vaughn starts to shoot ahead, but Higa's still deep in the zone, and then kind of trying to anticipate Higa, shooting back out again. So, yeah, not a perfect run from either of them again, but it's.
I'm over here talking to Ryan Sage, and we're talking just like flabbergasted, right? Here's something else. It's not just Irwindale. Irwindale is the exclamation point on the season. It's 7 previous rounds, and this is where it ends. So it's every turn and burn counts. Every point counts. Every battle, every qualifying, and there's 8 rounds. Hey, shout out to Ben Hobson, by the way, Prospect champion, threw it down for his town, and again, talk about 8 rounds. There's 4 rounds. Every round counts, but shout out to him as we see Vaughn Gittin Jr., Diego Higa. Who's going to clean it up? Who's going to get tidy? Who's going against Forrest Wang in a Royal Purple Top 16? Here we go, the Petro Synthetics running in the face of Vaughn Gittin Jr. Big, massive angle from Captain Clutch Kick into that second outside zone. Wow, almost getting that middle tire on the wall as he just depressed that 2024 all-new Mustangs bumper right into that wall. And Vaughn Gittin Jr., oh man, that was he left nothing to the imagination. Like I said, again, a 21 bumper salute is going down, and there's Ripper and Matt Field watching on in the wings. Let's take a look at this again.
Vaughn so fast, and Diego Higa doing a good job at keeping up with the first outside zone. Then you see Vaughn pull a little bit of angle to shoot out to get that gap to be a little bit more extended. Great angle through there as Higa really punts off that inner clip, and Vaughn, man, so close with that section of wall that does come out. Comes off the wall really well with the great line and adds some more angle through the lily pad, but Higa doing a good job in the chase here. It's so hard to keep up with these RTRs. They're incredibly fast. Higa having to cut some line there, and Vaughn, once again, just that little hump there. I mean, the fact that he's able to get the back end in there and not destroy the car completely. I mean, end of the season, you own the company. Do you care anymore? Is it just run the car, just as hard as you possibly can? You've already, one car's already wrecked. Let's just throw another one.
Easy for you to say. These aren't Hot Wheels, dude. It's like boom, boom, boom. These are full-size Hot Wheels, man. I mean, these are expensive pieces of equipment. As the doors, here we go. Slide them left for Higa, right for Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Diego Higa. A great run, but Vaughn Gittin Jr. Look at that, 2-1. Who got the OMT? Who was that? All right, so Chris Yule. Well, Vaughn Gittin Jr. advances on Lorette. What is the temperature down there? Not just talking actual weather.
Well, you can obviously understand the amount of disappointment that Matt Field and his team are currently experiencing, and the emotions that he's shifting through. And Matt, unfortunately, it's like deja vu. It looked like the marbles grabbed you.
I don't know exactly. I thought I was in a pretty decent position. Kazuya was super high, and I was working my way up. After I crashed, I looked at the marbles, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of them, but this track, that's just the nature of this track. There's a lot of marbles all over this place because we're burning tires, and we're on the throttle, and we're high on the wall. After yesterday, it was a lot for the crew to get the car back together. Obviously, the amount of damage that I had was minuscule in compared to the grand scheme of things of what happened, but the team was up till 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's not just yesterday, right? The guys have been putting in so much work all year. and to keep us in the title fight round after round after round and continue to push. Like, it takes a whole team. It takes an army. And I can't be more thankful for these guys. I can't be more thankful for my partners. Like, they've stood by me, and everyone's been a huge addition to the program. So I'm super thankful. Borla, you guys have absolutely changed the whole look of the program. You came in when we had no title sponsor. You believed in us. And GT Radio, you have been probably one of the best additions to this program because these tires are amazing and the car is incredibly fast. And I mean, it's always hard when you're going up against another GT car like Kazuya, like he's fast. So we threw the whole kitchen sink at the car, and yeah, I think the marbles ended up biting us, but you learn and you come to that stronger next year. So I can't do anything but thank the team and thank all of you guys, and I try my best.
And Matt, we see that warrior mindset in you, and we see that hunger and that dedication. And Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s team member just walked by and said, next year, man. So looking forward to that, Matt. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much.
The exhale. Wow, an absolute ball of emotions. You can feel it. Very, very graceful right there.
Yeah.
That was full of grace. Again, hold your head high, Matt Field. You did your best. Again, your lovely wife, your mom, your dad, your team. See Brandon Scarpelli down there. Randy Scarpelli, Ripper, Graham, everybody. Chow always up in the box. A crazy roller coaster of a season for Matt Field, and unfortunately, he will not be your 2023 Formula Drift champion. But now the plot thickens. We will see a new Formula Drift champion amongst the names Sam Hubinette, Reese Millen, Tanner Faust, Chris Forsberg, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Dio Shihara, Michael Essa, James Dean, Frederick Aasbo. Those are iconic names. And now we are getting a new 2023, a second-gen driver, as we created this new category of basically, you know, here you have these day oneers like Ken Gushi and Chris Forsberg, and now this new generation of drivers coming in from the OGs. Now you have a driver like Chelsea Denofa, who entered as a privateer in a BMW, and he went to Vaughn Gittin Jr. He says, I'm going to drive for you, and that's exactly what he manifested, created, and now he is on one of the most successful teams in Formula Drift history, and he's about to make history of his own by announcing his retirement on Thursday, and now he pulls back into the pits.
Okay.
The plot thickens as Chelsea Denofa was to go against Christos Bluss. He calls his NGK competition timeout. So again, we are here telling the story of what's unfolding. Chelsea Denofa pulls back in the pits. Oh, so as calm as he was, I don't know if you saw that body language, shaking his head. Again, here's the scenarios. To remind you, if Chelsea Denofa wins against Christos Bluss, he is your 2023 Formula Drift champion. If he loses, Simon Olsen, who came into this round third in points, would have to win the event to supersede and go from third to the win. Pin it to win it. The pins are off. The hood is off. We saw that earlier. That was a controversial battle against Stuke. I'm seeing Lorette with Vaughn Gittin Jr. Lorette, what is happening?
Well, you guys can understand why I'm not going to stick the microphone in Chelsea's face right now and ask what's going on. So next best thing, of course, is Vaughn Gittin Jr. boss here. Chelsea pulled in. Can you tell us what the problem is?
Yeah, Chelsea got in the burnout box, and it seems like his nitrous solenoid's acting up. It's a weird intermittent thing that just happens, and we preventive maintenance it the best we can, but there's no way to like monitor it. So until you get to the burnout box. So he got up there, felt the car misfire, no power. So they're going to fix the solenoid, get him right back out, and we'll go do the thing.
This was also a problem that you guys were experiencing in Salt Lake, is that right?
Yep, and I had a problem yesterday in qualifying as well with it. It's just a very intermittent thing. We're pushing these cards and these solenoids super hard, and they get super hot, and you know, I'm sure he's got a brand new one on there, and it could have just been bad out of the box. Or, you know, I don't know the answer, but I do know that it's not pumping nitrous to the motor, and we need that right now. So
It's been an emotional and intense couple of days here with Chelsea, with the team. What have you been telling him?
You know, I've just been telling him to remember who he is and that he knows how to do this, and it's just another day. You know, we in these moments are the only ones that can get in our own way. You know, when you're at this level and you're as talented as Chelsea, he just needs to remember and believe and just go out there and do what he knows how to do, and all come to him.
Yeah, well, when a confident driver steps into your rig and tells you that you need to hire him, and you guys go on this long path together, what are some of the emotions that you're feeling?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think for me, you know, I've got a lot of respect for him making the decision and stepping away from comfort and, you know, consistency. And, you know, he could be doing this for as long as he wanted here, you know. But, you know, he's got a little different drive in him and things that he needs to fulfill. So I'm mainly proud of him for making a tough decision, you know.
So as the team boss, I know that you have a real capable team, but do you need to get any hands on the car right now?
What's that?
Get any hard hands on the
No,
car?
I'm good. We got the guys.
Yep. Okay.
And girl.
All right. Well, guys, as you can hear what's going on down here, a very hard-working crew. They are all working together. They're communicating. Vaughn has eyes on the car. Chelsea is still currently in the car, and as Vaughn had said, they are working on that nitrous issue.
Thank you so much, Lorette. And 2 minutes. The NGK competition timeout clock is ticking. We were to see Christos Bluss and Chelsea Denofa, Vaughn Gittin Jr. talking about solenoids, nitrous solenoids, working hard, talking about this team. The pressure, man, from James Dean working on their car, Chelsea Denofa, Matt Field, and again, prior to this, we saw smiles, we saw kind of laughing, you know, all that. The mood in the room has completely changed. Like if it was an emoji, it's smiles. Now it's like flat face, man. It's just like flat smile, just like, right?
Yeah, it's amazing that, you know, it could come down to a connector, a wire, something like that. But that's how these cars are all season, and that's why winning a championship is so difficult. Everything has to be perfect all of the time to do this. It's why there can only be one person. You can see how intense Chelsea's eyes are now. This is a very different mood than he had before. As we see, we're now down below 1:20 as they're going through and checking things. They did do a test fire to see. Chelsea was shaking his head. There's obviously a check system within the ECU or PMU that they're running right now to see if it's firing. It doesn't seem to be. Now, that being said, these cars can still run without nitrous, but running without nitrous against a guy like Kristaps is not advisable. It's not what you want to be doing. If there's anybody that can figure this out, though, it's going to be Chelsea Denofa one way or another. He just needs to win this battle.
This is as a story. He's saying no. I'm seeing a head shake. That is a universal sign for no. It is not working. But does he run it? Does he run it without nitrous? What is? I mean, no. He's saying no, but they just got to button it up and send it. All right, so pin it to win it. Again, that hood came into play early this season with Daniel Stuke, so much so they made a Fun Haver t-shirt after it. He needs to win this battle in order to be your 2023 Formula Drift champion. 15 seconds to go. The clock is ticking. And we are waiting to see and make sure, again, I think they're still just down to the wire, no pun intended. 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and it expires, you ready to go.
Yeah. Is that? Oh, sorry. The wheel disc there, I thought he had a D-beat for a second.
No.
No.
And there was no D-beat. Keep in mind, we saw Chelsea Denofa. Looks like he's pulling to the line. But keep in mind, the confidence in Chelsea's eyes didn't look to be 100%.
Yeah.
He's going against Christos Bluss, which, keep in mind as well, didn't have 100% of a healthy run, but he does have it in him. The Latvian driver definitely has it in him. So here are the scenarios. Let's paint the picture. Matt Field out of competition in 32. He could have, you know, obviously got up there and still fought, but now Chelsea smiles is now gone to stress. You can feel the intensity and the drama. The plot thickens. Chelsea Denofa called his NGK competition timeout. Vaughn was talking about solenoids, getting that nitrous, took that competition timeout. James Dean, battered and bruised, a hurt right shoulder. He is out of competition. Vaughn is still in it, but the championship is up for grabs. the big question is, will Chelsea Denofa be 100%? Will he get the win? Christoph Bluss pulling to the line. Chelsea, Christoph. If Chelsea gets this win, he is your 2023 Formula Drift champion. If he loses, Simon Olsen has a shot to go from 3rd place coming into this round. Fingers crossed, he would have to win the event. And though his pace and his tempo and his momentum, it's not that far-fetched.
Yeah, and we know Christoph's had some issues in practice as well, so Christoph's maybe down on power as well. We could be throwing this back to horsepower levels of almost 20 years ago.
Right.
Guys running 300-400 horsepower, although I do know the RTRs can just naturally aspirate.
Naturally aspirated, they definitely have the horsepower. You know, you're looking at 2 V8 setups, you know, so here it is. Again, Chelsea Denofa, make some noise, Irwindale. The plot thickens, round 8. This is the Type S title fight. Round 8 at the House of Drift, Irwindale Speedway. This is for the championship to be in Chelsea Denofa's back pocket. We are definitely going to see a new champion in 2023. Will it be Chelsea Denofa and the Penzo Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD? Chelsea Denofa initiates into the bank. Christoph Bluss is dropping out a little low, so Chelsea saw him initiate. He drops down. The Nitto tires are going around. Christoph Bluss surges an attack into that second outside zone. Christoph Bluss very shallow on the second outside zone. Chelsea Denofa throws it sideways. Again, you are seeing kind of a lack of horsepower here from Chelsea, but he does get a full pull from Chelsea Denofa. The RTR team looks on nervously for Chelsea. HGK could play spoiler. Christoph Bluss will now lead. Chelsea Denofa giving chase as Gittin Jr. That smirk. What do you call that? What do you call that?
Confident concern and nervous energy. That is a lot of emotions that are going on right now. So let's take a look. Chelsea Denofa definitely down on power. Christoph probably knows that and is doing what he can to keep that. Now right here, Chelsea just backs it, grabs the e-brake, and really slows down. It is a decel zone, so he is allowed to, but Christoph's way offline there in the chase. So what happens now is the judges need to take a look. Is Christoph's offline because Chelsea is down on power and not being where he needs to be? Or was it not clean? You know, there's a lot of things that we have to analyze here. Chelsea a good couple feet off the bank. You could hear him clutch kicking to get that RTR engine to spin up and keep the wheels going. He really slowed down there through that inner clip. And honestly, they've been running full throttle through there all day. There's no way he's able to do that without the nitro system on the car right now. So
this is where folklore is created. Remember that one year when, you know, Matt Field and then it rained, right?
We'll be talking
That was
about
2022.
this. Yeah.
2023. Remember when Matt and Chelsea are going for it? You know, mathematically, Simon Olsen, who, you know, switched cars, went to a new team. He's 3rd, and then this, and then that, and here we are. Folklore is being created right now. Our 20th season of the Formula Drift Championship is going to culminate into being, again, another amazing season. It's not just one round, it's 8 rounds. It's not just one driver, it's an entire team. And Chelsea Denofa,
he's trying to,
and we are seeing him. Chelsea is trying to stagger his start, which you are allowed to within, again, don't know the rules on this. This is the deepest I've ever seen a driver stage back.
He's showing Sopa that he can move the car. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Just send him. Let's go. This is it. This is, again, a gray area that we have never seen this scenario unfold. Simon Olsen sits in 3rd. He waits on because he still has an opportunity to be a champion. The scenario is, if Chelsea Denofa wins this battle, he is your 2023 Formula Drift champion. Christoph Bluss out front, but all eyeballs are on the Pennsylvania driver. The Penzo Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD. Chelsea Denofa initiates. He drops down on the bank. Chelsea Denofa drops down. Christoph Bluss needs to maintain that angle and hit all the clipping zones. Chelsea Denofa dives on the inside. Christoph Bluss out front. Chelsea trying to cause some pressure here. He gets back into formation. Chelsea Denofa right there on the door. He's diving in, driving in, and Christoph Bluss. Oh, doctor, come on, make some noise. Formula Drift.
That was so
Holy
scrappy.
Cow.
Wow. That was everything he could possibly do to get around the track. Chelsea Denofa literally took the handbook of things you can do in drifting and applied all of them. Every technique, anything anybody's ever developed, and brand new things just to get around the track. This is...
You can't write this story. It just unfolded. James Dean looks on with his hurt shoulder, smiles on faces for different reasons. Chelsea just stayed on the throttle. Jacob, again, like you said, he used all the tools in his bag of tricks in order to hold on to it. It just was not enough.
Yeah, Chelsea just tried to get the biggest run if he could. He went low on the bank. He kept in drift, though. Tries to cut the angle right here, just pins it all the way through, knowing Kristaps is going to get that. And they get into that second outside zone, and Chelsea went, you know what? Let's go. Puts it into the side of Kristaps and holds it there. I know he was matted and just clutch kicking like crazy to keep that car going around. Big, crazy burnout there at the end of 360. But look at, check this out. Chelsea Denofa, known for drifting cars of every horsepower, and he has taken all of that knowledge and thrown it here right now. Does keep the car in drift, it looks like, through the transition, cuts as much line as he possibly can, and then once they get into the second outside zone, puts the loud pedal to the floor and just keeps going.
Yeah, we're analyzing this run, and as he was grasping for straws or grasping for angle, the judges are analyzing the run. There's two things. He straightened on initiation, and right there, he went to the right side of the inside clip. He went off course. That's 3 tires off. That's an incomplete. So some people say like, oh, he's still, no. The rules say three tires off, you're out. Watch this initiation. He straightens on initiation. You see him, right? Yeah, right there. I mean, look at that right there. So he drops down, big understeer, and then the big blaring one is right there. That's 3 tires off. We slowed it down. I'm looking at an overhead shot. There are 3 tires off. So that cool, calm, collected, just feeling and vibe that we saw prior goes to the start line, calls that NGK competition timeout. Solenoid is out. Take a look at this overhead shot. So when he goes and transitions from the outside zone, so there's a straightening. Again, that's a big understeer. The big one right here. So you'll see 3 tires off. Watch. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, that's the big one right there. Imagine if there was a wall defining that course, he would have damaged another RTR car. So here's the scenario. If Chelsea Denofa loses, which, again, breaking down that run, they're going to slide the way of Kristaps Bluss. The scenario and the pressure now is on the back of Simon Olsen after we get the verdict here.
Yeah, the amount of pressure that Simon Olsen is about to feel is unlike anything many of us will ever experience. His entire career right now has led up to this, and he has to embrace it and fight through. This is wild.
Hey, just an FYI, the judges did immediately give their verdict. We're analyzing it because this does have championship implications. The judges immediately put in and submitted. So let's go ahead. Let's hit it with them. Come on now. So there's Vaughn. You saw the emotion of Chelsea Denofa. They were down in power. Kristaps Bluss, slide him left for Denofa, right for Kristaps Bluss. And again, the judges did this immediately. We wanted to give it enough education. Kristaps Bluss gets the win. Chelsea Denofa is out. 1 and 2 in the points coming into this round of competition are out in the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. So now, Simon Olsen, again, switching from a new vehicle, a new team, never driven an S chassis, never driven an LS supercharged vehicle, and now he could be your 2023 champion. But guess what? We won't find out till a Royal Purple Top 16. That's right. You're going to have to wait a few hours. Simon Olsen's going to have to wait a few hours because the fate of his championship and what could be Chelsea Denofa's championship lies in the Norwegian driver's lap, and that is Simon Olsen. So again, field out. Our points leader, Chelsea Denofa, out. Simon Olsen waits a few hours, as do all the Formula Drift fans around the world. Jacob.
I did not think this is what we were going to be doing today.
Ryan says new generation, a second generation driver. Look at the new generation that we're seeing amongst this driver's pool. Yeah, of course you have Chris Forsberg and Gittin Jr., Tuerck, but no back. Kazuya Taguchi, I'd call him, newer. I mean, Dylan Hughes is part of this newer generation.
Yeah.
And Simon Olsen, notably, he was smiling, man. He's got a cool shirt on. How cool is he? I think he's saying, so you're saying there's a chance. Yes, there is. And
there
look at that. There's some body language for you. We're watching to Simon. But, again, absolutely unbelievable.
This is entertainment.
My phone is being blown up.
Same.
Jabay, Rutledge, Hansel down at Lean Customs, and there is an autograph signing where you can get a free map field pin. He's got champagne. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. Robert Thorne, is he Rookie of the Year just yet? I don't know. I said officially yesterday, Diego Higa. I misspoke. I apologize. I do make mistakes. There wasn't a rookie it wasn't denoted a rookie R next to his name, but we'll get to that again as the event progresses. But again, the calmness, the craziness, the chaos. I mean, what other word can we utilize to really culminate what just transpired there between the field and Denofa battles?
Yeah, and what we are looking at now is what the potential other side of the bracket is going to look like and who Simon could potentially face in the finals. Like, this is all still very important. As much as we've gone through a crazy and stressful and emotional time, now as we move on, we start to see what the rest of the story looks like. We get everything else. And also remember, everybody wants to win this event. Everybody wants to win Irwindale. So, like, there's still so much that we have to get through.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Robert Thorne and Travis Reeder, exactly. Here we go, two absolute killer BMWs. Robert Thorne out front, our Prospect champion of 2022, made the jump to pro this year, and he's making noise. Travis Reeder transitions in that chase position. Both these BMW, I mean, almost, and Reeder goes to the side of Thorne. He straightens out Reeder in that Nicholas BMW, picking up that new sponsorship this year, and goes into the side of Robert Thorne. Wow.
This track can just destroy
And we're only
your
in the
day.
32.
I know. Oh, wow. Okay, so once we get to the replay here, very similar like we talked about, that things happening earlier in the run affects you later on. So Robert Thorne up front is not super deep in the first outside zone. Travis Reeder holding back a little bit, it seems, that we come through this transition. And I originally thought Travis Reeder was going to catch the wall here, and he does. Just the way that he transitions out of that second inner clip pushed him a little bit wide, and Robert Thorne was able to keep the car on, gets on throttle at the right time, but Travis didn't really have anywhere to go. Could have corrected by getting a bit more angle into the car, but he knew if he got on throttle, he was going to smoke into the side of Robert Thorne. You can see it right here. Travis knows what's about to happen, embraces for impact, and thankfully, Robert Thorne doesn't take a ton of damage in that impact, because then we get into that battle of mechanics where, we talk about how much pressure is on the drivers, but the teams, the mechanics, everybody, this is a team sport. Like, you can't forget that.
No, yeah, and that's right. We talk about how crazy Irwindale is, but we have 7 previous rounds, 8 total. It's not one driver, it's a team, it's a family, and who'd have thought that a championship would not be decided in 32. It's going to be in the 16. And Simon Olsen, he's got some time to really dwell and think about this. While we catch our breath, holy cow. I'm going to grab a Rockstar. I don't need any more energy. I'm just exhausted after, just all those things unfolding. We'll take a break. We'll clean up the track. Welcome Rob Jennings and Pooley here to round 8. This is the Type S title fight. It's going the distance. Ding, ding. Guess what? We got more rounds to go. Don't go anywhere. From the House of Drift, Irwindale Speedway.
It's my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy. Let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime.
Your workspace is ready. Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome to the streets of Long Beach. Look at that. It is a beautiful day here in Southern California.
K&N, the official performance air filter of Formula Drift.
NGK and NTK is more than just high ignitability spark plugs and precision sensors. They're about growing the car community. This is why they're introducing Shop Squad, an automotive meeting place for shop owners, service writers, technicians, students, and industry professionals to come together and share knowledge and encourage self-growth. Enrolling is free, and you have access to on-demand training, digital newsletters, product launch information, and more. Woo!
This is Tuerck Motorsport.
Driving too fast, I don't wanna wait. We driving the days, we stepping in late. Nothing but blind and real the tape. Let's be alive, and we gonna skate. Let's be alive, and we gonna
Holy
skate. You wanted to ride, you wanted to ride.
Rockstar energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
Hi, I'm Chris Forsberg, three-time Formula Drift champion, and I have had some rough times over the years. I've been doing this for 20 years now, and one of the biggest challenges that I had to overcome was, it was actually only my third season in Formula Drift. It was going into the 2007 season. I just lost my primary partner, which was Falcon Tire at the time, and it was only like 2 months away from the start of the year. And so I was able to pick up a partner, Maxxis Tire. They came in last minute. NOS was a supporter of mine back in 2006, and they continued into 07, so they still had some faith in the program moving forward, which was great. We had a rough year in 2006. We had a lot of engine failures and other problems with the car. It was a debut of a new V8 powered Z, the first V8 powered drift car that did not come with a V8. Big, conversion, trying to figure out spring rates, a lot of different things. We just didn't have the knowledge back then. Going into 2007, lost my primary partner, had to basically scramble something together, and basically was able to get enough support to essentially make it to the first round in Atlanta. And we're basically just running on scraps at that point. And so we get to Atlanta, and my program with Maxxis was actually they matched the contingency of FD. And so I actually went up and ended up winning the event. And so I won, $5,000 from Formula Drift, another $5,000 from Maxxis, who matched it. And so I just got 10 grand. That basically was funding the program that year off of contingency. That's actually what funded our season, I should say. Finished second in the championship, solidified our NOS partnership going to 08. They became our primary, and the rest is history. I mean, in the end, the moral of that story is, door slams with windows open. It's like you gotta invest in yourself. You can't just, expect someone else to, do everything for you and just have it show up on a silver platter. If you want to be in the game, you gotta, work hard.
Wow, what a day it's been, and we are only in the 32. There's Chelsea Denofa. Now that car just unfortunately a paperweight in competition because he is out of competition. The hard-working RTR team and a great-looking vehicle, and again, just RTR team has been absolutely relentlessly been shucking and jiving. From James Dean. Vaughn is still in it.
Yep.
So, wow.
Just dominant. I mean, it's been the most dominant we've seen the RTR team as a whole.
Right.
Obviously, the individual efforts of the drivers, seeing Adam win, Chelsea win multiple times, Vaughn getting the win. It's just been crazy to experience and see how this team has grown and just finally found the form that they've been looking for across all the cars. So, Simon, I mean, that phone's exploding from calls from Norway. His long distance bill is going to be wild.
I feel you on that. Yeah, but I'm still selfishly.
And if Odie wins and Simon gets less than 4th, Odie's in 3rd place.
Wow. So there's still
there's still some variables.
Yeah, there's still lots.
Still some opportunities, still some variables. So now we're taking a look at Kenshiro Gushi. Ken Gushi, our number 3 qualifier against Ola Jaeger. Ola Jaeger, who he's had some words with him right before last night's drivers meet. He says, he's looking on to next year. He wants to develop a new car. He wants to get back out there. And, Ken Gushi really turned it up last night. Again, we talk about it on your Outer Zone podcast. You and him had a great interview. If you have not listened to Jacob's podcast that he hosts, or say the podcast that highlights Formula Drift personalities, not just drivers, but staff and crew members, including, I don't want to hear a podcast with that gentleman right there.
It
Andy,
might happen.
That would be the most painful hour and a half of my life.
No, it has to cap at an hour. He told me. He only listens for the first hour.
I mean, let's just cap it at like 5 minutes. All joking aside, Formula Drift family runs deep as far as staff and drivers. But the Outer Zone podcast, hosted by Mr. Jacob Gittins, my co-host here for qualifying yesterday in 32 and some previous rounds of the season. Right now, it's Kenshiro Gushi and Ola Jaeger. Ola going to chase down that Mark IV Kenda Supra. He's chasing down the Toyota GR86, and there goes Jaeger. He shuts it down just like that right from the start. So right now, Ken Gushi just needs to finish this run, and he will get the win. And Ken, oh boy, that's the.
Kept in it. I mean,
okay.
The question will become now, did he straighten? Did he go opposite lock? Was he able to finish the run? Is it a chaseable run? There's a lot of things that the judges have to look at, and I know they're going through the replays already to see. So the big thing to watch for is going to be those front wheels, as Ola Jaeger has some sort of mechanical issue. What we need to see now is the attitude of the car, and does the car straighten, or was this deemed an unchaseable run? So as Ken gets into the wall right here, it looks pretty close to a reinitiation from my perspective, but it's not a guarantee. I mean, Ola Jaeger here is the big winner in this situation, as he has some sort of issue. It almost looked like there was maybe some smoke coming out of the cabin of the car when Ola Jaeger took off the line, so not entirely sure what was going on there. But yeah.
All right, so we are hearing that Jaeger is having a transmission issue. He is a scratch. They are done. So I'm assuming that we will be seeing Ken Gushi taking his bye run. I mean, it seemed like that lead run was an incomplete. Am I correct in saying? Yeah, that is a 000 right there.
That's my
Can we get subtitles on that? Can we get closed captioning and see what they're saying right there? Looking at Chelsea Denofa and Wang Jr. Keep in mind, Chelsea Denofa on Thursday announces his retirement from Formula Drift competition. Again, it bears repeating. He said he wanted to announce it on Thursday, given it was not going to affect his retirement pending on the outcome of this event. So he says, basically, I want to let you know before the event, because regardless, I am retiring. If I win the championship, or let's call it lose the championship, because he was your points leader coming to this round, he is leaving Formula Drift competition.
Yeah, and we talked about it. Oh, I was going to say we're going to listen in.
I know.
Yeah, Simon Olsen, all the pressure there. But yeah, Chelsea Denofa making that announcement ahead of time. I mean, it does alleviate some pressure. You can get it off your chest. I couldn't imagine having to carry the weight of that decision all the way through the weekend and still try and concentrate. So, and he gets to dictate his story now. As you said, if he wins, he doesn't want to, Nico Rosberg and say, I won, I'm out. And if he doesn't win, he doesn't want to say, like, we don't want the narrative to be he was a sore loser. He made this decision, what sounds like a little while ago, and he's happy to announce it.
He said it like earlier part of the season, and yeah. So Yeah. So here we go. Ken Gushi with a bye run because Jaeger is out.
There he goes, able to get through the rest of the run. I mean, Ken was doing incredible things in practice. I mean, he does not have the fastest car on grid right now, but he was doing an amazing job of filling all the zones, having really fluid and stylish transitions. So as he moves on into the top 16, I am excited to see what battle and what pairing he's going to get, which we're going to figure out here in our next set of battles. But yeah, Ken's been on one. He's always done well here in Irwindale, as we talked about on the podcast. So back in form.
We are getting an update here. Thorne did make his competition, or not his he didn't call a comp timeout. He just had a 10-minute allotment. Robert Thorne and Travis Reeder. Reeder got into the side of Thorne. You can see him there already on the start grid. The time is expiring and ticking down for Travis Reeder in his NGK competition timeout. He did cause the accident. So Brandon Sorenson, Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones got 3rd place here last year, if you can recall, and he loves this track. He's, he has a lot of fun. You could see just the personality that he is outside of the car and even inside the car. Brandon Sorenson, the young buck, 19 years old, and just a real rising star. I feel like he's, obviously the new generation of Formula Drift driver. Brandon Sorenson, Jeff Jones. This should be a pretty good battle. Excited to see this one. We will revisit Thorne and Reeder the second half of that. Ken Gushi does move on, and Gushi will be going against Sorenson or Jones.
Yeah, and Brandon Sorenson has an incredibly aggressive style. I mean, he is young and he is hungry and is able to really put it into the doors of any driver on grid here. Jeff Jones, a privateer, a guy that really works to get through this. He's got a full-time job, he's got a lot of things on the go, and he's able to make it out to all these rounds. So very inspiring.
Here we go with Brandon Sorenson out front, Jeff Jones. All right, we are clear to send. Soap on the start line, ready to send them. The United States Air Force, Pedal Commander, BMW, Jeff Jones, and Evo AutoWorks Nissan 370Z. Here comes Brandon Sorenson. Out of the gate, Jeff Jones from Sun Valley, California. Sorenson from Las Vegas rides high on the bank. Jones works his way up with that big grip energy. You see it on the roof. You see him trying to stick it to the wall. Sorenson, good snappy transition in that second outside zone. Jones, you can see him, gets that proximity, has to back off now, dives in on the inside clip, and Sorenson uses all the course. Again, Jeff Jones, 3rd place here at Irwindale last year. Would love to better that, and Sorenson would love to get on the box.
Yeah, I talked about this before, but Brandon just has a super aggressive style. And you can see as he comes out of the gate there, on throttle the whole way through, big initiation, gets up to the wall and holds it there. Jeff struggling to keep up the speed of Sorenson as they come to that first outside zone, and watch this transition. Big whip one way, big whip the other way, and Brandon floats the car just to the wall and gets back on throttle, and Jeff doesn't quite time it the way he should have, getting on throttle to shoot the car through the rest of the second outside zone. Both of them do a good job through the second inside clip, and then across the line on that lily pad zone. I think it's been Brandon now at this point, but check out that transition there from Brandon Sorenson, getting it done early, getting that front bumper into that inner clip, and then able to time it super well into the second outside zone, getting back on throttle. So Jeff definitely has a bit of work cut out for him. He's got the timing. He knows this track. He runs this track consistently. I mean, he's out. I feel like he's out here all the time.
Yeah.
Now Brandon, he's going to be facing off against a veteran driver with a ton of laps on this surface.
Okay, here we go. We are seeing Jeff Jones out front in the red Nissan 370Z. Brandon Sorenson and the white blue. Got a little jump start. Looks like a jump start probably from Jeff Jones. Matt Sopa. Oh, really? Jeff knew he jumped it before even our starter called him out on it. So Jeff Jones re-racks him, stacks him, and now they're about to track him. Jeff Jones. You have so again, the lead driver can't jump the light before they're all extinguished. You have 3 strikes or you're out, but it looks like we got a clean start. No cones. We're hitting that start chicane to get them queued up into that first outside zone. Jeff Jones a lot more settled out front of the clean air, but Sorenson even higher and great proximity from Sorenson as we zero in on that first inside clip. Brandon Sorenson cuts through that smoke, no problem. The GT radio smoke from Jones. And Sorenson, again, look at that prowess at such a young age. You know, he's driving off-road machines, he's going karting, and here he is, just putting the car exact. That was probably one of the best chase runs we've seen here in 32. I'm going to be quite honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Sorenson's got more seat time in different vehicles than people well into their 50s. And Brandon showing it here. I mean, Jeff definitely could have had a bit more angle as he tries to run away from Sorenson, but he's not going to be shaken. They come to this clip, and right here, Sorenson gets on the throttle, pushes the car into the second in or outside zone, and really pushes things across the door of Jeff Jones as they come across the line. Yeah, Brandon punching well above his age bracket, that's for sure.
Taking a look at the scores, Brandon Sorenson gets the win, and now Lorette, again, the fate of this gentleman's championship. Chelsea Denofa lies in Simon Olsen's hands. You got to wait a few hours, Chelsea. You're smiling. Why is he smiling?
Because what else do you do in this situation? He told me that he wanted to win this, and now the fate lies in someone else's hand to clinch that championship, because it's still alive for Chelsea Denofa. And Chelsea, what a roller coaster of emotions for you this week.
Yeah, it's been wild. I had just come off like probably the best practice I've had in a really long time. I was driving hard, calculated, doing what I needed to do, and yeah, we just ended up having a failure of a solenoid or some sort of wiring with the nitrous, so I was down like 550 or 600 foot-pounds of torque, which made it a bit tough. I was really happy with my lead run. I thought I was pretty stoked, but on the chase there was like just no chance of keeping the tires spinning.
And you ran over to Chris Stapps and you told him something. What was that?
Yeah, I was like, sorry for pushing your door in for the whole last half of the lap, because I wasn't going to go out with a gap between us at all. Like my last lap, there's no air gap. I'm pushing you across the finish line no matter what. So he was cool with it. I said, I'll take care of your door if we need to. But it's all about banging doors and having fun in the long run anyway.
Chelsea, thank you so much. We're keeping the hope alive down here at the RTR pit, guys, obviously.
Again, Chelsea, thank you for all that you've done for drifting and, of course, for Formula Drift. The fate is there. We had a great time Wednesday night at the Run the Jewels concert, and again, that's Chelsea's attitude. He's had a good run here. He loves it. You know, he's going to still drift, but just not compete in the Formula Drift Championship. So thank you for all that you've done for the Formula Drift world, and I'm sure myself and the fans, as here we go back to the second half of Travis Reed and Robert Thorne. The first battle, Thorne was leading. Reeder got into the side of him. And Thorne continues on, so the hood comes up on Reeder's car. And the hood came up on Travis Reeder's car, and he knows that, so Robert Thorne doesn't even need to complete the entirety of this run. Holy cow. Control all the lead, what is happening? So Reeder.
Every possible scenario that could happen in the drifting event is happening today.
With, yeah, I mean, accidents, who's at fault, what's going on. So what happened there is Reeder was leading, he left the line, the hood pops up, he knows that plays a major role. That's going to affect that chase car. Hood, trunk, you know, roof, doors. You know, we talked, you know, doors, if they open and you're in the lead position, that's going to impede. And, you know, I mean, if you're chasing him down at 180 miles per hour, 50 miles per hour, that thing flies off, you're a little timid. So, and Robert Thorne, again, making his campaign to be Formula Drift Rookie of the Year. Robert Thorne, champion of Pro Spec last year, makes the jump to Pro, and he moves closer to being your Formula Drift 2023 Rookie of the Year in that Smedegard Racing BMW. It's a little Momo livery on the side, and of course, the Grid Life boys cheering him on. Jabe and Chris, we'll see you next weekend at Grid Life at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy
event.
event.
You're going to be out there too,
I'll be
right?
There.
We're getting tattooed by Neeks.
Yeah, I'm down.
Have a good time. Let's go.
It.
All right. Wow. Saw David Egan in the building, Mr. Drift Games. Saw him coming out here. So many. You said the Shanahans are in the building as well?
Yeah, right over there. We saw Federico Sharifo hanging out too. There's it's a star-studded cast out here.
Yep. I saw that. So, guess what? James Dean, after an insane accident in practice, James Dean from Ireland, the three-time Formula Drift champ, Matt Field gets in the side of him, gets up on the wall. The car gets airborne. The team works through the night to get the car back. His shoulder, he could barely lift. Look at this. He told us a couple hours ago he wasn't. Look at boing, ka-chow. Tony, James Dean, pro skater, 1,000 points, 2,000 points.
Almost cartwheels.
Does the endo. He does manual. That's how you get the points.
Yeah,
Ollie and manual.
Always combo.
Look at that. So that was immediately after he got out of the car, shoulder hurting. And, you know, he ended up the team ended up getting the car back together. He ends up qualifying. He gets in the show. You can see him. I mean, the car is battered, bruised. I mean, it's all over the place. He gets out there. He throws down a qualifying run. He's in the show. This morning, arm, he could barely lift it. I saw him this morning. I mean, it couldn't go horizontal with the ground. You know, he's about like, let's call it, you know, 45 degrees from next to his body, about 45 degrees. And keep in mind, that's his steering wheel hand, since it's right-hand drive Mustang. So that's his steering wheel hand. So he's going to have to go over and rotate that thing past the 90 degrees. There's Becky, his girl, helping him out. He's been icing it, trying to get it better. But guess what? The machine, he's T2.
Yeah.
He's T130. You know, I mean, here's James Dean going against Kyle Mohan. He's the only RTR driver not to have a victory this year, but he is a three-time champion, one of only three. All three are here in the building. Aasbo knocked out earlier in 32. His championship hopes are gone. Chris Forsberg's still in it. He's not part of the conversation as championship, but he is a three-time champion himself. James the Machine Dean, AutoZone, Mustang, RTR, Spec 5, FD. He's going to throw it in with that hurt wing. He gets it close to the wall. Kyle Mohan dropping down. Can James Dean, with the banged-up battered car, a banged-up body, get the victory and move on into the 16. Past Kyle Mohan. Mohan, again, that initiation dropped down low. He's really going to turn it up. That's a big correction there. Oh, and then he throws some angle at it. James Dean. I mean, the car doesn't seem like it's been beat up. James Dean is driving like he's an Olympic athlete. Are you kidding me?
You would have no idea. If you didn't know how much pain he is probably in right now, you would have absolutely no idea that this man was injured. Great run here, smoking the tires off the launch, and then just keeps them rolling all the way through. Doesn't get all the way out to the full outside zone one, but does a great job. Good transition here, nice and snappy. Points the car at the cone as he goes across, transitions the car to the second outside zone and holds it there. Kyle Mohan in the chase doing everything he can. Big correction there, as Jared said earlier. Kyle was definitely struggling. I mean, we did see Kyle in practice earlier today. He did get that outside zone one figured out. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to get that all dialed here for his lead run. But James Dean out in the lead, like I said, fighting through, and this is a war of attrition here. I mean, I cannot understand how crazy you have to be to drive past that point of almost rolling your car, almost cartwheeling your car, and just being able to do it. So let's get a big round of applause here for James Dean.
Yeah, James Dean absolutely enduring, you know, physical pain, mental, you know, I mean, that was a crazy, crazy crash. I encourage you to watch the Type S camera in-car footage. You know, keep in mind, that wall, he's a right-hand drive Mustang, so he's on the wall. You know, if it would have been left-hand drive, I don't think it would have been as bad, but still pretty sensational. I'm glad he's okay. Here we go, Kyle the Menace Mohan initiating way low in the bank for Mohan. Works his way back up top. Renewable Lubricants, Mazda Tricks, RX-8. He has teased a new car for the 24 season, and here comes James Dean in that chase position. I do not know how he is doing this. I literally saw him this morning, and looks like he powers through, but just, I saw him, and I saw how much pain he was in. I do not know how he is driving right now, guys. You are witnessing one of the craziest Formula Drift rounds of competition ever. And of course, it's on the anniversary of our series. 20 years of Formula Drift. Let's look at it again, Jake.
Yeah, Kyle Mohan out front just does not get the wheel speed he needs to get the car up to the bank. And the hard part here for James Dean is when you are chasing a slower car, you are using a ton of handbrake, which means that he is still having to hold onto the wheel with his right hand and reach over to grab that e-brake, but he plays it smart. He holds the car back and provides a little bit of distance so he's not having to make a ton of adjustments and move that arm around. James Dean does what he needs to do in order to get through that run in the most amount of you know, or least amount of pain possible, and you can see just the amount of damage on that car as we come to our judge's decision here.
Slide him left for Dean, or right for Mohan, and James Dean, the machine. JD 130 is here. I'll be back, he says. I mean, an absolute weapon, a machine. His team, the RTR. Wow. Unbelievable. This is insane. From yesterday to today to tonight. Look at how our Royal Purple Top 16 is shaping up. Remember, we have a halftime break. I'm going to be down at the K&N area. I'm going to be down there with Larry Chen, Chris Forsberg, and Matt Field. So, again, Matt Field, I know he's signing autographs at the Lean Customs booth, giving out some pins, but myself, Larry Chen, Chris Forsberg, Matt Field, we'll be down there. Go by the Sim Magic booth, experience Sim Magic, the activation tent. Go by the GoPro booth. You could win a GoPro. That's going to be given out at 6:15. So many things to do if you're here in the building. And of course, go by the Formula Drift merch booth, buy some gear, buy some hats, and also buy some Type S goods, underglow, jump starters, Pro Series Ultra Slim Light, 360 LED video light, courtesy of Larry Chen. Again, buy all the goods, support the companies. Look at that A pillar, the frame rails. See it? Look, he can't lift his right arm. He can't lift his right arm, dude.
I just want to see the in-car to understand how he got through that. He might have been doing it with his knees.
Oh my gosh, dude, unbelievable. Well, busy talking about all the activations in the building, but right now the activation is Dean, Carnage Carney, and Rome, Charpentier.
Yeah, and Rome.
Look at him still smiling. Look at James. I'm telling you, this man is relentless. Unbelievable.
Rome earlier today and yesterday in practice has been absolutely shredding. Dean Carney did have a little bit of a mix-up, just catching the wall yesterday. I mean, here's the thing. Anytime you sustain damage to that car, you don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to perform, but let's see what they do as they come out of the gate.
Rome Charpentier, Garage Istic, Vitour, BMW, giving Modern's hell versus the Hyper NFT Dodge Viper, Rome Charpentier. Rome CP going for it. I mean, what a contrast of vehicles. Again, the LS BMW versus the SRT10 Dodge Viper. Wow, look at that. Dean flirting with that ball. Rome into that second outside zone, bringing it on home. Both those guys, good aggressive runs.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this too is like watching the chase. Dean, although did not have a ton of proximity, did a great job of following the line and mirroring the angle. And that is a big factor here when we're talking about judging. So take a look here. Dean not super up on Rome, but definitely able to mirror what Rome is doing and following behind him. So it'll be interesting to see how the judges score that and what Rome does when it comes to his time to chase. But out in the lead, Rome is doing a great job. He's doing exactly what he did in practice. He's filling all the zones. He's making great transitions. He's hitting those inner clips. He's doing everything that needs to happen in order to win. But Dean Carney in the chase, like I said, just mirroring it. He is acting like his shadow. Although he's not right there on him, he's doing a phenomenal job of understanding and adapting what Rome's doing in the lead. So I know Rome, once he gets in the chase, he's going to want to door him. That's going to be his thing. He's going to want to be pushing him. So it'll be very different chase runs from two very different drivers and two very different chassis.
Well, you talked about just kind of, also it's Irwindale, but also a lot of these guys are doing some different series, different activations.
Yeah.
Like we talked about Grid Life next weekend, Laguna Seca. I'm going to be out there. We're going to have a good time. But, there's all these events. But Formula Drift being the pinnacle international drifting sanctioning body, some of these guys are prepping cars for next year. They're just going to say, hey, risk it for the biscuit. I want to win Irwindale.
Yeah.
They know what's at stake. This is a big thing, and it's a big motivation for for the 2024 season. But right now, our final battle of our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. You talk about it. You talk about banging doors. Rome hit it, then quit it, and Dean he didn't hit it actually. He kind of hit the angle, but then had to back off. Dean Carnage Carney continues on, a little bit more fluid. Rome a little bit more violent with that initiation, and now he sucks him in, and there you go, banging that Vitour tire on the door. Hyper NFT and a hyper door bang there from Rome Charpentier. That was interesting. Like you said, you called it, man.
He's aggressive. He is super aggressive in the chase. He knows how that car runs and how to set it up properly. Those Vitour tires are able to bite in really well. and he uses that to all of his advantage, and that's exactly what he did in the chase. But it did come back to bite him in that first outside zone, so let's take a look at it here. Dean Carney with a great initiation, and Rome overcooks it, drops down on the bank, and then gets the car to slide back up into the pocket and knows he needs to make up ground. Great job through the transition from both of them, and then right here, Rome gets back on the throttle and tries to get into the pocket, and then starts pushing Dean around the course, pushing that Vitor tire into the side of that Hyper NFT Viper. And that is the way that Rome chases. He is aggressive and he pushes, and that is what makes him the driver that he is. But Dean, not phased through any of it. Super calm, cool, and collected, able to hit all of his marks, able to get around the track, no problems, great results. So it's going to be interesting to see what the judges say. Rome did have that mistake, but Dean was further back. So, you know, which one do you pick at that point in time? Looking at the judging rule book,
right?
You know, there's a couple ways this could go.
Which way does the needle go? Like
exactly.
The aggression, the smoothness, line angle style, you know, X factor, you know, still plays a role. There's Barion.
Yeah, proximity is big, but so is line and angle. So
yeah, because if you get proximity, but you hit it and then back off, you go and back. Surging,
yeah,
that's not fluidity. You know
exactly.
what I mean? So you know, rate to angle is great, but if you go rate to angle and then have to back off, you know, this is probably the toughest battle to call here because it's two schools of thought, but the criteria is the same.
Yeah.
Line angle style.
So it's who got more total when it comes to the chase. But we can't forget about the leads either. Both of them had really good lead runs. So in my opinion, it's going to come down to the chases and what the judges are looking for. It's tough though. This is once again, this is why we do this. We're not just
Hey, there's our fans. They're buying all the goods. Again, thank you guys and gals. We are live on our GoPro. Speaking of GoPro, the all-new Hero 12 Black just launched. Go on by the booth, exclusive pricing. Go by the Rockstar Energy booth. Talk to my son, High Five Parker, Jet Dienda. He's down there. He's going to be, again, they're going to be giving out some goods. Here we go. Do we have a verdict? Rome Charpentier. Slide him left for Rome, right for Dean Carnage. One more time. One for Dean, and Dean Carnage Carney gets the win.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, I agree with that call.
Yeah.
I think Dean just risked too much, and it didn't work out for him. You know, both in the lead and for, sorry, Rome, excuse me. I apologize. I digress. Rome. I digress. Rome. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Rome just kind of went out there, had to back off. Dean was much more smoother. Still has, you know, wasn't the cleanest, but your thoughts? Do you agree with that?
No, I agree. I mean, that's the thing. You want to push hard in order to win, but you push too hard, and that's what happens. So taking a look at the top 16 drivers is what we got, but we're going to throw it down to Lorette.
Yeah. All right, Lorette Nickel, who you got?
Well, sorry to interrupt, Chelsea. James, the Machine Dean, and I think when you came into the series in 2017, it was Jared Dianda that named you the Machine. You are fulfilling that namesake right now. What a warrior you are, and I know that you are so sore and in pain. How did you just pull that off?
It's just the team, it's everyone supporting me. Like, I'm listening to the people that are telling me just go for it. It hurts like hell. I didn't know if I was going to make a mistake because I'm doing a weird steering technique behind the wheel and not able to give the inputs that I normally give, so I don't feel comfortable. You know, we'll worry about the pain tomorrow. It's sore, but we're making it work. I don't know, when the adrenaline wears off, it gets a lot worse. Like last night when I woke up this morning, I thought there was no way we could do it. And yeah, somehow we did. So I'm just taking it step by step. Trying to have some fun, like it's the last time we get to drive the AutoZone Ford Mustang this year, and it's battled and bruised. The team did everything to get it back out there. I'm battled and bruised. We're both out there trying to make it work, and yeah, I was smiling while being in pain coming in after that lap, but it's great.
And you said that there's a weird steering technique that you're using. What are you actually doing?
Yeah, so I'm finding it hard to give steering inputs to the left with my right hand. So like if you imagine trying to turn, like it's sort of lifted, but like if you're doing that with the wheel, it's really hard to do that while I'm chasing on the handbrake. And on the transitions too, I give a bit more of an input before I snap the other way. And I'm just having to let the car self-steer with very little input. So it's working, but it's not exactly ideal. It's not very comfortable, but it is what it is. We're here. Hard luck to Chelsea. Like, that's such bad luck. But it's motorsport, and
Yeah, he's saying he's retiring. I'm sure he'll be back at some point. Maybe not next year or the year after, but I have a feeling he'll be back. And wishing him the best of luck for the future.
And you're a three-time champion, 2017, 18, and 19. Standing against that wall, I was wondering if you were feeling the same emotions that you thought Chelsea was.
My heart was absolutely racing. I was standing there with Vaughan and the team, and like Vaughan was in bits. He was super nervous about it, and I was very nervous about it. And you know, it was just fate. It was bad luck. Chelsea tried his absolutely best to make it happen, but you need so much power on this track to stay high on the wall, and then the chase you need more power again. So it was a really nerve-wracking situation. My heart sank for Chelsea, but he did his best. It was out of his control, and you know, there's a long night there yet. Anything could happen. Still a very good chance he'll be holding the championship trophy tonight, so we'll see what happens.
James, thank you so much. And just wanted to draw attention to these beautiful bracelets that his niece made for me. So Bella, thank you so much for these, Jared.
Thank you so much, James, and thank you, Lorette. The bracelets are beautiful. Nobody made me a bracelet. I'm joking. I don't need it. I'm good. Happy birthday, James Dean. You're a madman. You are a magician. Also, Jacob, you are not joining me for Top 16. So Jacob Gittins, host of Outer Zone Podcast, which gets all things Formula Drift. So thank you so much. And want to thank you for this season. If you see the turquoise beanie, or they call him the Tuerck because he is Canadian, thanks for a great season, man. And again, Ryan Sage will be joining me for Top 16. But I got a lot of feedback. They said you did great. So thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to all the fans for all the support for it. I do have a couple more beanies to give out if you do see me walking around. And thank you to my family. I know they're watching at home. So yeah, thank you for all the support. And we'll see everybody out there. I get to be a fan again. I get to go sit down and watch the whole thing, so I'm stoked. It's a crazy day.
Well, you said your family, your mom, right?
Yeah, my mom, my wife.
You said your family,
kids.
but your mom.
Yeah, mom, wife, and kids are all watching at home, so
right.
Super cool.
Well, thank you so much, Jacob. Again, tune into the Outer Zone, hosted by Jacob Gittins. It's been a battle. The crowns, they're everywhere. Those are for Dylan Hughes, but the Type S title fight continues. We don't have a champion for 2023, but we do know it will be a new name amongst the legends that have previously held the championship title for Formula Drift. Will it be a Norwegian? Will it be an American? That is yet to be found out, and we won't find out until our Royal Purple Top 16. When we return, we'll be back here for our United States Air Force opening ceremonies. That kicks off at 6:30. Again, 6:30 local time, and currently it is 4:08. So do the math, just shy of 2.5 hours. Thanks for joining us on behalf of Jacob Gittins, our judges, Ryan Lantain, we bid you adieu. Ryan Lantain, he's not judging, but Chris Yule, Robin Ishida, Brian Eggert, Pat Gentili, thank you so much. We'll be back here at 6:30 local time. Send it!